matchup for the carry Pudge in the game would be the Leicester, but because he believes he can play into it, and he's going to give it a go here in this game number 1. I'm more interested to see on like how the mid Monkey King is going to function this game. The Shadow Demon, it has so much value here. Is he going to get shut down by Matthew?
Looks like the Monkey did go for the Tree Dance one as well. Have you played any Monkey at the moment? Because
yeah, I mean, this one's interesting. I've demoed it, right? But I've never actually went for it. I mean, this does mean if you ever step out of your Wukongs or you ever get feared out or tossed out, it's just going to disappear immediately. And against a Dark Willow and a Tiny, that can be a little scary, right? But you can get across the map really quickly with this facet. So I guess he's just looking to get really active and run around the map as much as he can to try and get some ganks happening.
Yeah,
haven't seen anyone use this one yet other than supports. Very weird to see from a mid monkey, but we'll see how it does.
There was a... Oh, man, I don't know. I may have actually been in the grand finals, but now into Shopify, and Yuma went for... There was one game in particular. I think, in fact, he played 2 Monkey King games, but there was one I remember where he went the Tree Dance, and he was rotating really, really early, being super, super active on a carry monkey. So
yeah.
I'm also intrigued to see like how the playstyle is going to be now for the mid lane here on PP and how active you can get, because this is a volatile hero. You were saying in the carry, it's even more in the mid lane. Like, you are not someone, you don't go like Battle Fury or I'm expecting not a Maelstrom as well. So really for PP, he has to body this lane, and he probably should ride versus Dark Margot.
Eventually over time you will win the lane, but I think you're not going to have an issue farming on Dark Mago either, because you can kind of keep your distance pretty easily in this situation. And you'll be able to farm up, but yeah, if you ever get your lane on the enemy hill and he gets like some early boots, it can get really tough really fast for Dark Mago. But I think he has a lot of experience as a hero spammer himself, and Tiny's like one of the heroes that he just is truly goated on. It's like his Tiny, his Ember Spirit, and Kunkka are like the heroes I just really think of Dark Mago. So I'm sure he's played this matchup 1,000 times, and he'll do just fine. And it's already kind of showing in the CS right now that he has perfect CS at the moment.
So once again, I don't know if this is the 3rd time we see the Pengo in the offlane so far today. Seen a couple times it's had a pretty free lane. Are we expecting this to be another free lane for the offlane Pango?
Free. Yeah, I mean, it should be relatively free. Leicester doesn't apply too much pressure to you, and you'll be able to leap out pretty easily. And with Matthew there, he's going to be able to support him. It's a reasonable amount here. So yeah, he's going to be able to farm. He might not dominate the lane, but he should definitely get his farm.
Which is probably going to be pretty happy with, right? Because, I mean, might actually see Gardic take a bunch of damage. Matthew will be fine with the TP, but Gardic was eating all the right-click damage from the big creep wave.
Oh,
up the cell, but of course that's going to be popped pretty instantly, so fortunate for Gardic.
And Gardic might wish he just died there, because he has no mana, no HP. He's not going to be able to help this lane very much. At least he can get the creep pull off and deny a couple creeps there. But outside of that, he's got just about nothing. Maybe they can grab a Lotus in 20 seconds. That will be coming up relatively soon here.
Not going to be easy though if the Crystal Maiden can't even help contest the Lotus pull. And Sacred level 3 already, so 2nd point in the shield crash. Matthew's ready to brawl as well. How's his bottom lane looking though for Bakaz and Tiger? They have... He went for the 1-1-1 build on Bakaz. Of course, went for that flesh meat as well, like you're saying we see always for the carry Pudges.
The flesh meat. Good fusion.
Good big boy. Where'd the Lotuses go? It looks like Radiant were able to get the top one, but the bottom one. Genic was able to get the bottom one as well.
Yeah. I had too many creeps on the tower there for Boom to really contest that one. A pretty slow laning stage so far. Not much of anything happening in any lane here. Mid lane, very ever so slightly Monkey King favored, but I don't think you really care if you're Dark Mongo about this. Like, things are going pretty decently, I'd say, for him.
do you care though if you're the monkey? Because again, I feel like if you're putting this hero mid lane, it's to win the lane, and then we've already mentioned you don't have some good game matchups overall.
Nobody cares what the monkey thinks, Aries.
Okay, sorry, PP.
He's a monkey player. Nobody cares what he thinks. It's all about surviving. It's like Huskar players, you know? Like, does anyone care what the Huskar feels like? No, you don't. You just care about the guy that's getting Huskar.
Yeah. Some of those other heroes, you know, the person who's you're playing the Meepo, the OD, some of the other nasty laners, it's the bully heroes.
Pretty much.
Okay, so PP, sorry, brother. In fact, we might not even mention your name this game.
Gotta
Margaret's actually gonna make a trip back. Oh, well, Boom the underdog in this series?
The Tiny versus Monkey King is.
Okay, yeah, all right. All right. Well, now we are seeing the trip back to base. PP is going to start to grow a bit of a lead over the Tiny. He's actually going to rotate top, so Dark Margaret feeling like he can't go to bottom. Maybe seeing an opportunity to get a kill. Still waiting for our first blood. Lumiere. That avalanche. Oh, it's not going to matter. Okay.
That's first blood.
Looked really weird, but...
I mean, he tried to clip him on like the very edge because he didn't want him to get rage off. Or maybe he was just baiting the rage. That way he can toss later and get the kill. Either way, that's first blood. He's going to sacrifice a lot of levels for that because he missed 2 waves under the tower. And PP is making a rotation to the bot lane. He's hopping. He's hopping.
And hopping he is because danger. Might even be able to get Tiger as well. Dark Willow moved down with his own teleport. PP, nice rotation out of the Monkey King is going to net them a double kill for Infinity. And much needed experience as well. And this is what you need for the mid Monkey King to be able to snowball, and that is a great way for him to start the game.
But they see him. Like, there's literally a creep attacking him. If you die to this... there's no way you die to this, right? You won't. And so far, I haven't seen the hopping look super OP right now. In fact, he's not even really abusing it.
He's not using it because Bottom's going to be able to get a kill into Genic. So after the death, maybe Arcano as well as Dark Margot. All right, so we got some active mid laners by the looks of it. Dark Margot, top to bottom. So we saw previously Boom give up a couple kills, but they will answer it straight back.
And I feel like if you're more than happy with what's going on if you're Dark Margot. You're also pretty happy for Monkey King. EP. It's going in. Smells blood.
Got the banishment on Matthew. How much is it actually going to be able to deter Infinity? It looks like not enough. PP. This seems like this could be a pretty fun game. The lanes were really slow, but with just how active we're seeing the mid laners, and importantly, they're like converting on kills. Because if they're not converting, then it's going to make it even more difficult to get these kills in the side lanes. But you've got a killing spree for the Monkey King. You're Tiny as well as you're still third net worth. Dark Margot is actually farming a stack inside the jungle at the moment. So yeah, we could have a very fast-paced game at this rate.
Yeah, I think everything is going pretty well for both teams right now. And I think there's a big issue with both the mid laners. Let's just
munch.
So I saw earlier today, was it Parker ended up playing the Pudge in that 13-minute game? And he went for the other facet, which made your hooks faster and do more damage. And Bakaz is going for the one that gives you strength when you use Dismember. So it looks like still different variations on this carry Pudge on which one is better to go. Potentially it's game dependent as well. It's Matthew. He's gonna die.
Or she's gonna go do it. Any like, do we feel like maybe is really dependent on if you're gonna be able to have stuns to set up for the hook?
Not sure.
I don't know.
I think it's just like 2 different playstyles. I feel like what is the names of these? I have to remember. Fresh meat. That's actually way too easy.
I think the other one's like Flayer's hook or something.
Yeah, well, the fresh meat facet is just stable and always easy to use. And it's always going to give you some type of buff. Whereas the Flayer's hook, I'll just call it that. I'm going to take your word on it. That one is like, it makes your hooks faster. It means like you're probably gonna catch some people by surprise, right? By getting a couple hooks off here and there. I don't know which one's better. I think they're both pretty damn good. So just depends on like your play style and what do you want to be doing. Maybe because doesn't believe in his hooks, you know? Maybe you just like, I just gonna walk in there.
Bottom lane, look, hang on, look at this, dude. 5 heroes. They popped out of nowhere.
Shield
All
us all.
converging on the bottom lane. One ultimate, second ultimate. A lot of hate for Bakaz. And they've kind of showcased that in the drop. Sacred's actually going to try and step in. Rolling Thunder. They need the numbers. Where are the boys? But Dark Margo's going to be here for the extra damage. Lifesteal gets blown up. They'll try and fight on to PP. It's a big shield crash from Sacred. This Pango's going to be untouchable. And now but the Darkseer is going to be chased down as well. Spell's coming up in a couple of seconds. Importantly, Toss as well for the damage they're missing. Going to be able to land it onto the Darkseer. A nice response from Boom. You lose the Pudge. But of course, everyone else comes in the nick of time to be able to take the fight because we'll miss the hook.
Miss every shot you don't take. That's why he didn't get the Flare's hook.
Oh, I see.
You gotta hit your hooks to take use of that facet.
So he doesn't have confidence in himself. Is this a good thing? I don't know. I feel like it's not.
There's a different type of confidence. It's like, I'm not going to kill them by hooking them. I'm just going to walk in and kill them.
Ah. And Dark Margo's got a blink now. After his top net worth. Pole vault himself. Leader of this game. Fairy's Trinket as well, which is a big one for him.
Does he have dagger now?
And this is... Yeah, he's good to go. Needs some mana, so might make a trip back to base unless someone's got something to refill, but unfortunately not.
Yeah, just head on back. No problem there. And the Pudge is very interesting. He's going first item Eternal Shroud. Typically see the Aghanims first, that way you can farm a bit faster.
Oh, Tiger. Lumiere again's actually going to pop out of the portal. 502 is his Monkey King.
Yeah, he's putting in some work for sure. The only issue I have with the Monkey King is when he dies once, you know? It feels like one of those heroes that one death can set you back a lot. But if he never dies, it's golden.
I see. So low margin error. See if he's going to be able to continue the success he's had so far. Tower's actually going to go down bottom. No defense, top lane. Looks like Boom and Sacred going to be able to find their own tower. They are setting up though. Dark Margo with Matthew going to be able to get the jump over the top. Looking for a toss back, doesn't find it. And that's the blink reveal and it's not good enough. Genix's actually okay.
I think they'll get the CM here though, more than likely.
Run! Okay, let's just push the man. Alright, at least this time it's going to pay off in the end. Take some time.
Very slow and painful death, but a death nonetheless as they look towards the mirror on the top lane here. Unfortunately, no glimpse available, so he will just walk away.
Again, it's another Vessel Pango as well.
Well, let's see if it can have more impact than what we previously saw. We did see the Treads Echo Pango do what I expect Pangos to be doing. I'm not saying when you buy Vessel you can't be a threat. It just feels like it's the less tanky option and it's a bit more aggressive and more utility.
Looking for the jump in with the Bedlam extra burst potential. It's not enough. Lumiere needs a rage target. In fact, not even required. Sacred still charges up the Rolling Thunder, and they're going to be able to dive under the tier 2 tower. But the Creep's the tank, but they're about to die, though, but the Magnetize activated. And the reinforcements have arisen. They're going to try and play with the Terrorizer, send him out of the Wukongs. The kill has occurred nonetheless. Dark Margo goes down, and Sacred's still stuck around. And this should be a kill they're going to be able to find. So just too greedy with the attempt into Lumiere. Thought they had the burst potential, not enough, and pretty good response out of Infinity instantly to bring the members that were required.
Yeah, I mean, they dove onto their tower, didn't have the damage, and after that, I feel like they got baited by the Earth Spirit a little bit. Like, oh, Earth Spirit's here, maybe we can kill him. They channel up the Rolling Thunder, but Infinity, they brought the numbers there. You stuck around way too long, you lose your Tiny, you lose your Pangu as well. That's definitely gotta hurt. So back to stacking, back to farming for a little bit. And Bakaz changed his mind, actually. He went for just a casual cloak. Gonna go for that early Aghanims. And this is about the time where we'll start to see the Pudge potentially join the fights. You don't even really have to. You can use Ags as a farming tool. If he wants to.
Is there any like specific items that Pudge can build, or is it more playstyle to play into this lifestealer matchup?
Oh, well, no matter what you build, it's still going to be lifestealer favored. But I think if you do get to a Shiva's Guard, it helps a lot with the amount of lifesteal he can get from you. I've seen some people tinker around with like ethereal blades, but more than anything, BKBs, armor, Shiva's Guard, reducing his lifesteal is going to be probably the best route. And just get ahead in items, ideally. Because it's not really going to be so much about the Pudge countering the lifestealer. They have other ways of dealing with the lifestealer, and it's mainly just going to be kiting them out. Once his rage does go on cooldown, they have lots of ways of dealing with him. So maybe just the Pudge's job is to bait out the rage, and then after that, you got tons of stuns on the side of Boom to kind of deal with him. But you got to get there. And Lumiere, he didn't really go for a build that's going to help him farm very quickly. He went for more of a fighting build with this armlet, so he's going to fall behind in the farm department to this Pudge if this continues. If you can't get these kills with the armlet.
What? How did Sacred sit past that? No way. Is Matthew gonna get out? How's no one died? Is it 5 years? It's 5 years from Infinity. I don't know, no one died. They're gonna see them going bottom as well with this ward that Matthew placed before he escaped. Kaz is under the observer. It's a long TP.
Oh. If he was level 10, that would have hit. And now they know for a fact there's a ward there too, so.
Regular start. Got some kills recently. Close to getting some, but Dark Margo and Matthew together. They want to go into the triangle. PP would be a good target with the double damage rune. They got the burst. It's a little bit messy of initiation. And we saw what could happen prior if the team can respond in Infinity, and that's going to be the case once again. Sacred would do his best to crash in, but with the pipe freshly completed, the damage mitigation is way too much. Boom. Another attempt goes astray, and now PP's going to be able to capitalize with the jump over the top. They'll try for the hook. Bakaz is going to clip onto one. The response, it's still going to be there. Kick Bakaz down to the low ground. Lumiere wants to turn from Sacred, doesn't have the damage, now rooted up for the moment. Lumiere is still okay. Infested up PP. Oh, it's a big boundless.
That's gotta hurt. Yeah, this Boom team, like, they're lacking some communication here. The Tiny goes in, but their idea was very simple. We're gonna stun him, toss him back into Matthew. Matthew's gonna use Demonic Purge on the Monkey King, and then the Monkey King is gonna die. But Dark Mago went in a little too early. Wasn't in range to toss back to Matthew. Now all of a sudden, Monkey King, he gets his Wukongs off. You're using your Rolling Thunder into a Wukong's command. You're just sitting in the middle of it as a Tiny. And there's like no way this fight is gonna go good for you after that, with that failed initiation. And it's gotta hurt. It definitely has gotta hurt there. They've gotta really start fixing the core issue here, that it seems that they're not going at the same time right here. They're a little bit off the same page. They need to get on the same page. They need to do it fast in this game, because this has been very sloppy from Boom.
Do you see this game as like you felt like the Ursa, if he was able to get to that stage, was the ultimate person who was going to be untouchable? Is that the same case with the lifestealer in this game?
Not as extreme, but it's up there. Yeah, it's a very good lifestealer game. They have very little that can deal with it. So if he does manage to get complete free farm, gets up to his Radiance here, which he almost has, then eventually he'll probably want to BKB just because of how much stuff you have to deal with him here. This lifestealer has the possibility of just not dying this game, outside of, you know, his laning stage deaths.
Where you're watching, that's how it's done.
And another concern has to be the fact that like you are going to have other heroes that will scale. This Monkey King is still yet to die. So he's, you know, getting to the stage. If you get this Desolator, I mean, maybe it's going to definitely with the damage in the team fights, but maybe even help out with his farming with just spamming Boundless. You've got the Darks here, which we're already seeing there be a bit of a lack of damage here. I like the transition. I think he did have Greaves queued up, but going to the pipe was, you know, saving them potentially in that previous team fight. And maybe the extra auras are going to be really impactful inside these your upcoming late game team fights. So it's not just the lifesteal, but it's also everyone else on Infinity that they have.
Yeah, I mean, you do have a Blink Dagger now on the Shadow Demon. I think this is going to be really big. You can follow up with the Tiny now to make things happen. We haven't talked a lot about Because, but this guy is almost level 15 now. By far, the most farmed hero and highest level hero in the game at the moment. Sure, some of your heroes are good against him, but it really just comes down to, are you more farmed than him? And how you take the team fights. And as of right now, I think Because still hasn't really shown us his power spike at this point of the game here. The next fight is going to be critical to see, is this Pudge killable? Or do you just not quite have enough damage and this Pudge going to kill you all? And we're probably going to find out in a minute here.
Marco mid lane. Meanwhile, PP's going to look to jump the backline with the Shadow Demon. Well, that was a big way to address some of the heroes on Infinite. You don't have it now. Because led to hook over to the northern side, though. Sacred, great location for him to roll back and forth against the wall, but the damage, it's just not there. Sacred has no one else to follow up with. It will be a 1-for-1 because maybe finding a second. So all they needed was the Pudge to get involved. You know, Because is showcasing. Once he's able to show up to some of these team fights, he can really have a lot of value.
And Because is the big boss of Boom right now. And a lot of this game is going to come down to, can they address him? Because right now they've already shown they can address the other heroes in the game right now. And jumping on Shadow Demon was like one of the best things you could have done in this particular fight here. And going for the Tormentor as well. But Pudge is definitely one of those heroes. You know, I have a lot of faith in this hero right now as a carry. If he gets out of control, sometimes it feels almost impossible to deal with him. Even if you do have heroes that are theoretically incredibly good versus him.
And importantly, he already has that item queued up that you were mentioning, being the Shiva's Guard for Because. So he's going to get that at a very quick timing. We do see probabilities favoring Infinity, even though Boom have a 3,000 net worth lead.
Probably just see some of the matchups and they're like, yep, Pudge versus Lifestealer. Go ahead and give you the advantage in this game, good sir.
Infinity get their own Tormentor as well. So what, the Radiant one went to Matthew. Now the Dire one will go to Genic. So I mean, definitely you're pretty happy about the one onto Matthew. Importantly, having the demonic cleanse. There's some great things to cleanse off this game on your teammates in particular. Frostbite, Silence, really the big ones that I'm looking at. Spirit Vessel as well, honestly, to protect Because is a big one. Even Dark Margot. He's got a BKB Arcane Rune. So again, we'll charge up the high ground. We've seen previously, though, their initiations have been a little bit messy.
I mean, you saw the hesitation on Dark Mago's eye. A Tiny and a Seum. The nice little stare down for a second there. Dark Mago could have jumped first, but decided not to and ended up getting frostbitten. Not wanting to go too deep into the enemy territory there. Meanwhile, Genic, he does get hit by a root there, but I don't know if they can block this roll. Not sure if they can though. I think he should be out.
He will be. So T1 Tower is going to go down. They will actually bring their forces down on Infinity, looking to counter this play and go for their own with the smoke. Got a really good observe ward that Boom are potentially going to retreat past. And look at the line drawn as well. If they can get there as soon as they get to the high ground wood, it's going to be a great position for Infinity to take the team fight.
I think Because just wants to finish his Shiva's Guard. He's really close, 200
Matthew,
gold.
we've seen prior, this is such an important hero to blow up. They should be able to do it to start the fight. A little bit messy, we'll get the banishment, but the rest of the team on Boom, are they going to be able to make it away? Observe Ward once again placed on the high ground from Gardic, so they're going to be able to glimpse Tiny, Dark Margot. So as the BKB, there's going to be no way to address that. The TP out is okay.
I do think there's one item that Infinity could buy that'll really put them in the lead for this game, and it's when Lifester finishes this BKB. I feel like he's going to be a completely different hero. And this Aegis doesn't hurt either. Yeah, if he has a BKB plus Aegis timing, I think Infinity are going to start, like, take a hold of this game.
Like the call, the freezing field probably would have been a little bit too slow. Because Radiant, they are coming down off the back of the respawn. Get it just before the fight occurs. Picard's with the early jump in. Do you want to take the team fight? You might be forced to, because so Sacred with the Rolling Thunder actually blocks the avenue of escape. And Lifestealer is out,
that's a godlike
everyone
spree.
else will not make it. That is a big streak they're going to get. Gardic as well. You're not making that one. Matthew will stop him. And really big ultimate there from Sacred. We've seen so far, like, this Pango Rolling Thunder, it's been impactful in a couple of team fights. They've just had some difficulty with getting on top of the heroes with other members to get the damage, but this time they will use it perfectly and get some really big kills.
Yeah, those are definitely some big ones there. They did get away with the Aegis, though, so that is the silver lining here. Lemire will have BKB available too. So I still think they're pretty powerful here, but those kills and losing that monster kill streak for the Monkey King, that went to Dark Mago as well, and you're gonna see here in this replay, we're gonna showcase how good. First of all, that hook canceled the roll, which was pretty cool, but this Rolling Thunder was just a work of art here, just chain stunning this Monkey King into oblivion and this CM. And Lemire was just like, I'm out of here, boys. Good luck. This fight looks lost after a Rolling Thunder like that. I was gonna TP out and go farm, cut our losses here. Still a game for Boom where things are looking okay, but I still want to see Lemire show up to a fight and actually right-click some heroes. I'm waiting for that. Maybe it's a level 18 because the lifesteal does scale with Feast being leveled up. Or with Infest leveling up, sorry. Feast levels up with Infest. So he'll have his max health to damage and max lifesteal available to play with right now.
Side set from Arcano. Swinging a miss for Picard, who is going now back into the Eternal Shroud. Another thing, the fact that Dark Margo got that streak from PP. This mid lane Tiny, we're speaking a lot about the Monkey King, and he can have some difficulties falling off sometimes if he has a bit of a rough transition to the mid game. I feel like Tiny is really similar if you played in the mid role, but it's a big streak for Dark Margo to get. He's going to be working on the phylactery by the looks of it.
PP has used up his one a lot of
mid, and Lumiere has a DD. They need to respond on Boom. Lumiere's just going to chase him down with a boundless strike as well. The cars will enter. Dismember's ready to go. No way for them to cancel. Age is gone. And no protection. They're going to come through off the back of the respawn. The cars with the re-jump over the western side is exactly where Genic was currently positioned. So 1-for-1, but Lumiere wants some revenge. He's starting to beat onto Picard. Picard is pretty tanky with the meat shield, but once it expires, they are stuck inside the Wukongs. The combination is there for the boys on Infinity. You're going to try and buy back on Sacred, but this is a lost cause. There is no team fight to be won here. Now Dark Margo, he's chased down for the low ground as well as Fear. That is what you wanted. You wanted to see Lumiere starting to right-click some of the members on Boom, and he did exactly that.
That's all they're waiting for. I think when he had this BKB ready, and I mean the Aegis surely helped too, but more than anything, he probably would have survived there if he just would have used his BKB directly after the first rage. But he wanted to save it. He knew that he's going to come back to life, and we're starting to see the issues now, like with this Leicester. When he has this much magic immunity for this duration of time, it is very, very difficult to deal with him. And he's hit that level of critical mass here. And there's nothing left that this Pudge can do except for potentially buy a BKB. And they just have to kite out this Rage plus BKB combination or jump him before he can even get it off. That's the other option.
And is this then where maybe someone on Infinity should be considering Lincolns or even a Lotus, potentially looking at the Darkseer? Is this something that the Lifesteal would like in this game?
Yeah, I think a Lotus Orb would be really good. It'll give you the nice duration of time where you just can't use their Dismember, and during that whole time, Lifesteal is going to whittle away at you. And it really is just a matter of time. And most of the time, it's the opposite way, where Pudge, he's going to out-survive you. And you're going to end up dying just because he's taking less damage than what he's doing to you. So, Leicester is that one matchup where he doesn't mind the long, extended fight. And that's why I consider this the worst matchup for Pudge as well. Like, if you're against an Ursa or something, right? This Ursa has to kill you within an enrage, or this Ursa's going to die. Whereas Leicester, he doesn't really have to do anything. He just has to sit there and right-click you. And if he ever gets his rage off and clicks you with open wounds, he's going back to full HP. So it's really a battle of time in these team fights for the side of Boom.
And him going back to that full HP is much easier now with that 20 talent. I think the wisdom was even
And
given over to
SNY.
him here. So, yeah, I mean, he's a big boy. And you also just completed the BKB on PP. So even this Monkey King is really going to be survivable inside some of the team fights. Vindicator's axe given over to him. And what was, I believe, a 3,000, maybe 4,000 net worth lead for Boom, completely swung back in Infinity's favor off the back of that previous team fight victory.
I wonder what the neutral item selection choices were for Lumiere. I feel like he went for a risky one. Going for a Nemesis Curse, yeah, it's great for your DPS. But what if that, extra 8% more damage you're taking from everyone is the reason you can't get your rage off? I feel like you just need to survive. So this one, I'll keep an eye on it to see if this neutral item bites him. But it's definitely a risky one.
Dark Mark, can you step up here at this stage of the game? Yeah, you got BKB, but I mean, that is now on cooldown for 95 seconds, and this is the instant smoke. They are ready to go. They know this is an opening for them, and they are not going to mess around in Infinity. They see Bakaz, they see another member, PP. Blows up Tiger, over to Matthew next. He's going to get the BKB at least before the hook connects, and Lumiere, they're just going to charge over to Bakaz. Dark Margo, I mean, he's entered the team fight, but is everyone else going to be able to save? Sacred's making some pretty good space here. Even the hook from Bakaz gets him out somehow. Really nicely done. I think he meant that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it even matters, like, whether that hits or not. But you're kind of seeing, like, the issue with the fights now. It's, you got one Dismember. Who are you using it on? You used it on Monkey King, right? Now you don't have it for Lifestealer. And you just don't have any damage. They just don't have damage right now. That's what they're lacking. Pango, he didn't really go for a build that does a lot of damage, right? He just has a Blink Dagger and a Vessel. And this Vessel has 0 charges. And now he's going into Yules. He will never be a source of damage. He's just going to be a source of control. And Dark Mago is tiny. Maybe he can do damage, but he just doesn't have the items right now. And yeah, Pakaz is doing a lot of damage. Just unfortunate, though, that he's playing versus a Monkey King and a Lifestealer. These are two heroes that lifesteal a lot back of the slow damage over time that you're doing to them. So what they're lacking is truly just bursting.
How are you bursting anyway? This is, again, I mean, I look at a Crystal Maiden and I see 1800 health. I'm just like, what is going on? You have the Talon, Bracer, Fluffy Hat, Wand, Ogre Seal Totem for strength, Glimmer Cape. So that's the squishiest hero. Then we go to all of the rest. You're not killing the Darks, you're in a full combo. The Earth Spirit's got 2100 health. He's going BKB. So who are you actually blowing up this game with the Tiny? And you're saying that is what they need to do, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do it.
They're going to have to catch a hero by themselves, right? Because in a 5v5, you're probably right. It's just not going to happen. And that's just kind of like the weakness of their draft in general right now. And maybe they're thinking back and be like, maybe we should have banned the Slicer because there's a lot on Pakaz's shoulder to carry this game. And he did have a lot of space to get the items that he has now. But he's playing versus the worst matchup in the game for him right now. So he's inherently at a disadvantage here and trying to carry this game. He needs his team to also contribute here. It's a tough one. It's definitely a tough one. We'll have to see what they can scrap together here as we are waiting for Roshan to respawn just 1 minute and 10 seconds away. This team fight, I feel like if it's going to shape my opinion on which way this game is going to go and who can get this next Roshan.
EP? Really playing on the knife's edge there is the Monkey King, almost getting clipped down from the tree. Boom, playing with this higher ground ward. Bakaz with a jump. Looking like a free pick off onto Genic. No way, is he actually going to be able to get the roll away? Taking the chase up with the Infest. The bonus health will keep the Earth Spirit alive. And now Lumiere is locked onto Dark Margot. The Titan is shrugging off the damage. It's not enough for the moment. A really messy team fight. Breaking out simultaneously on both fronts. PP's going to be able to assassinate the backline, protects himself with the Wukongs now as well. A buyback is there from Matthew. Dark Margot's going to be able to reinitiate. They want to try and target down with the Darks here. And with the help of Picard's Dismember, this will be a big kill onto the offlaner. And finally, boom. I'll take a pretty good team fight. Yes, it does cost them the buyback out of Matthew. And Roche is up soon as well. So an opportunity for them to get the second Roche of the game.
It's going to be a big one. Because
go back.
Go back. I mean, they're probably thinking they're going to set up for Roche on the top side. We see the lines being drawn over here by Gardic. Next Roshan. Well, you got 30 seconds. How much damage and how much control do you have to attempt this? I don't know if you have the damage for this. You got 30 seconds, guys. I don't think you're killing this. Yeah, they're already taking the gate. They're getting ready.
Yeah. Oh, wait, cancel that TP, CM. Cancel the TPs. Okay, well, Gardic just pops into the Tiny. But wait, who's going to get the forces here first? Because you don't have Sacred at the moment. It's going to matter, though. A lot of damage dealt to PP with the Beekeeper currently on cooldown for the Monkey King. Tries to turn with the Tinker stacks, but it's purged off straight away. Monkey doesn't have the lifesteal. He's still going to be able to leap into the trees. Meanwhile, Picard is slowed down. Lumiere is locked onto his target. This punch is in trouble. And now the vacuum into the balance. It's a perfect combo. Two get blown up. And Gardic's not even going to die as well. Protected with a Glimmer Cape. They can chase them down. Or they can just go for the objective in Roshan.
Kited out there. Dark Mago really desperately trying to find a target. I think a little bit of miscommunication there between Matthew and Dark Mago throughout this game. Like, Dark Mago, his avalanche got back off cooldown, right? He wanted to use it on the Monkey King with toss, but he got disrupted at the same time the avalanche went off there, and that could have been the difference of this Monkey King dying or this Monkey King surviving and them turning this fight around. And it looks like Lumiere, he's going to get this Aegis now. He also went for an Orchid. Maybe hoping to get a couple of these heroes silenced and killed off before they can get their spells, but unfortunately for him, there's a dispel on most all the heroes now, as Pudge did finish his BKB around the same time that Orchid was completed. And Lumiere, he will be taking out that Aegis, picking it up rather, and I think they can just walk down the lane if they want to. It's like, hey guys, I got Aegis. Let's just go walk it down top. Let's take everything we can in this vicinity. Sure, we're probably not going to get the Tormentor, but we can get a tier 1, tier 2. And when they show on the other side lanes, we have two choices. We're either going to go catch them, or we're going to force them back to the high ground here.
You got Scotty on PP now as well, so 3,300 health for him, but really importantly, just the reduction for the Pudge on his sustainability inside the fights is going to be huge.
Yeah, the control is going to be really big. Because you have to keep in mind, Lifestealer no longer can passively slow people, so he's got to rely on the open wounds or other heroes so he can stay locked on a target. And the Scotty's definitely going to help a lot with that one. Game number 1. Already looking a little bit bleak here for the side of Boom, giving away 2 Aegises and this Lifestealer last pick with no answer in sight for this Lifestealer. He's going to throw out casual spells here. All right. They forced him back. Mission accomplished, I suppose. Probably walk down the mid lane here. Bloodthorn is complete for Lumiere, boosting up his damage even furthermore. Yeah, I don't have an answer for this.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to see what it could be as well.
It's a hook, right? It has to be like some hook into some ridiculous location, and then when you rush in to help the Lifestealer, maybe there's a huge terrorized, huge rolling thunder on the backline, kills everyone, and you just kite out the Lifestealer until his team's dead. It has to be something like that.
We'll say, like, Sacred has done a pretty decent job with his rolling thunder inside some of the backlines with disrupting. We haven't seen the team be able to follow, but if all he does is need to try and control some of these supports, probably importantly, it's the Darks here as well to stop the utility auras from coming into play to keep anyone alive who does get repositioned. So see Boomer able to do that. It's going to be difficult. No vision outside the base. They got any smokes? So they do have a smoke onto the Dark Willow, so you can potentially look to go for a wraparound play.
They're losing their base though right now. Do we got a hook coming? He's thinking about it. He really wants to hook him into like some obscure part of the trees so he gets stuck, right? I bet you wish you had Flare's hook at this point of the game.
Slow siege it down. The creep wave coming through. I don't know what this creep is doing here. Is there a creep just... did you see that or no?
Wait, where's it at?
That was unexpected.
It's hitting the die creeps now, but there was a lonely creep just stuck by the crystal. He wasn't moving. He was just stuck. He was just doing nothing.
Maybe he got tossed in some like glitched area. He's gonna die now.
Yeah, he's not getting attacked by multiple creeps. Looks like they're backing off even. Who is this? PP is actually farming, maybe trying to get some of the neutral tokens. You got mid lane getting shoved out by Lumiere as well. You still have a minute 40 the Aegis, so still plenty of time. And do you feel like they need to be this concerned about breaking high ground on Infinite? Does it look that difficult, or are they just playing a passive?
I don't think it's that hard to go high ground here. You don't really need to by all accounts, but you're in a good state of this game. You're up 10k. You can siege pretty free with the lifesteal. The only thing you have to worry about is getting hooked. And even if you do get hooked, I don't even know if that's the end of the world. So yeah, I think high grounding now is really good because you have this advantage right now as the lifestealer. If you kind of look at his items, he's somewhat maxed out on items, right? So might as well use that advantage you have right now to try and get more out of this game and actually try to win the game. But maybe if you do want to go high ground, you got to start spending some more of this gold. We got the Darkseer sitting at 3.7k gold here. That's almost a new whatever item he wants to get next. I would imagine it'd be a Blink Dagger, but I'm sure he would have got it if that was the choice he truly wanted. To the high ground we go. The toss back into Rage,
and
into
next?
Purge,
Into Hook,
into he walks away.
All right, he's out. And there is a Rolling Thunder. Infest going to be given over to Genic. He also gets up to the high ground. You just go back up now.
You don't have BKB on the Earth Spirit, so maybe that's the one thing they're a little worried about. They got some damage there. I don't know. They only used Rolling Thunder, so I can see why they'd want to back. But that's what they got to do. But I think in that situation, very unfortunately, they need a toss back into a hook into like the middle of the tier 4s, right? It's just the hook wasn't perfectly synchronized with that toss there. But they're on the right track. They need to use this forcible repositioning. Maybe a Hex could be another really big item for them. Like some toss back into Hex, right? Kill him before he gets his rage off. I don't know who the hell's going to farm that Hex, but...
Yeah, I mean, Dark Marker's got 5,400 gold. So, honestly, if anyone's going to get it really soon, it's going to be him, but do you want to tiny with a Hex?
I don't know. Maybe. Ideally, no, but that might be the one item that can just make sure the Slicer can never go high ground, though. So that's the only thing I do like about it. But he's going to go for Wind Waker, it looks like.
Running it because, and with this lane ward, they kind of see that no one's behind him. Maybe Sacred's actually going to run into PP first. Does look like because is going to TP out, so importantly, the Pudge will escape, and Sacred's going to take them on a bit of a joyride.
Just wasting their time there. Pudge looking like he really wants to... So they're building Ethereal Blades, they're building Wind Wakers. I think, yeah, I'm glad Lumiere saw the same thing that I saw. Go buy that Nullifier. And he's going to disassemble the Radiance, and now he has a Nullifier on top of it. So all these items that you're buying, this Wind Waker Tiny, this Pango also going Wind Waker, This Ethereal Blade Pudge. He hasn't committed the Ethereal Blade. All of these are now countered by this one Nullifier.
So give the DD over to PP. So level 25 extra Wukong's command ring, which gives you another avenue to siege high ground. Bottom lane, Dark Margot jumped over the top of Genic, but he can BKB TP out. They are coming though. Let's see if they're actually going to have to damage through BKB with this Lifesteal and Monkey King DD. It's going to try and activate the immunity here. We'll look for the TP out, but it's probably a little bit too late. And yeah, he's gone. Big kill for the boys to find. And now boom, going to be playing 4v5 for 90 seconds.
I mean, he does have buy, but unfortunately he has no BKB, so he is good as dead there. You know, if he does buy back, you can't really commit your hero into these fights without the BKB. Perhaps the costly mistake of even trying to BKB TP out there. Because without this BKB, I do not see how you're going to defend this.
Well, PP.
All right, we got the
Plus
buyback.
out the buyback.
And Purge is also... It's gone. All right. So, all in all, you got a buyback. And it comes down to infinity. How do they want to play this? It's looking like patience is the name of the game. And you love to see it. And I can always appreciate, you know, people love watching throws, of course. It's very funny. But I love watching teams exercise patience and really try to do the absolute correct thing to win the game.
Where you're watching, Zets.
Play by the book. Nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy.
Yep, all is good. Lifesteal has one more slot to work with after he sells his boots. We'll be into that 6-slot territory.
Basher into the Abyssal is going to be the call for Lumi here. Let's have level 25 for a little bit now. Has that +1 second rage duration. Roche, unfortunately, a bit of a long spawn. So minute 40, they're going to be setting up top lane. Gardic actually went for the Lotus. I didn't see this. I think actually maybe just got delivered. So we were asking potentially for the Darkseer to go down this route earlier on. And now you have it on Gardic. So the ways to siege high ground get much easier now. Lotus up. You can even lay the Wukongs down for PP if you want, if you feel that's required to protect the lifesteal of the sieging. PP could even siege. Honestly, he has Desert. He can do it himself. So there's a lot of ways, and this game is continuing to not get easier for Boom. No. We're going to see the Tormentor, so because as the dismember to be able to work on his teammates now.
Where are you watching?
Not really ideal in this game. Like, who is he gonna save with Dismember? He wants to really use that aggressively. Like, he's not gonna save his Pango, who's trying to roll around in the fights, right? Tiny. Maybe you can use it defensively, but I think if you're ever using Dismember defensively, you're probably losing the fight anyway as a carry Pudge.
I think that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Wind Waker is completed on Dark Margot, so extra thing to protect himself has been nerfed over time. We'll see if those nerfs are going to be enough and it's still strong as what it is. I mean, you 11,000 deficit, so I don't know if it's a Wind Waker that's gonna potentially get you over the edge. Kaz has his own queued up, 6,000 gold in the bank for the Pudge.
I mean, you do have these Wind Wakers. You are playing versus a Nullifier.
Do you take the fight?
No, I don't think so.
No, so you just give up Roche?
That's a tough call, but I don't think you're gonna win the fight. Like, you probably have a better chance in your base, but maybe you can get some weird angle with the Pangolier. But I don't think they're gonna even try. I think they realize that it's just a really low % chance they can defend this Aegis. But I also feel like it's also a very low chance to win the fight in your base when they have Aegis and Cheese. And Ags. Forgot about the Ags there. So it looks like Lemire might just get a free Ags too.
Yeah, okay. I mean, this is an item we see picked up usually pretty early on. It's definitely like dependent of the matchups, but this is a nice one for Lifesteal, so he's probably pretty happy with getting it for free.
I mean, typically you go the Ags on Lifesteal when you're playing against ranged heroes, just like disarm and close the gap. Like, disarming a Pudge carry like doesn't really do much, but it does lower the cooldown to 20 seconds. So if you're ever in trouble, you can just like infest into an enemy, right? They can't really do anything, and you just kind of full heal. So it's better than nothing, but it's definitely not the best Ags game of all time for Lifestealer. Maybe the Tiny being just, I don't know, potentially using on Tiny could make some impact. Ooh, that was close.
TP very close to getting the Dark Willow down bottom. Jump up the lane and look to reconnect with the team. And let's see, this time, will they be able to crack the high ground? Top tower is 25 health left, so do they want to go through top? Do they want to go through bottom? They got a Wisdom Broom that PP is going to get. When do they feel like it is time to go?
I think they're ready now. I was complimenting them on their patience, but I think this is too patient. I feel like Boom have nothing against you right now. You got double cheese. If you just play with a little bit of patience here, you're gonna have no problem sieging this high ground. Absolutely no problem.
Really concerned that Boom are potentially coming out of the base, you know, betting these crew waves, Genic, waiting to see for someone to show, but Boom, they're just holed up inside the base. Sacred's going to show now. Matthew will also show with the poison. Let's see. Actual last kind of fight of the game. Still Tiny, no buyback for 2 minutes 30. Everyone else has got a buyback for Boom, though.
Misses, but Dark
that
Margo.
Not how you need to start the last team fight, potentially. Dark Margo. Wake is going to be nullified off, and they're going to be happy to reset with the BKB now on cooldown for the Tiny.
That's a big win. I mean, there's an item on Matthew that might be making them feel a little uncomfortable, and that Aghatim's on the Shadow Demon, disabling the passives from the Lifestealer. But it seems like the game plan is pretty clear for Infinity. They do not want to go high ground until they kill an enemy hero. They are not very comfortable with how things are going.
Where you watching? That's how it's done.
Game plan is wait for them to come out of the base. Essentially try to get a kill. Got wards on wards here.
With the creeps kind of getting stuck bottom. Nice read. I mean, CM clone popped out of nowhere. Pings came where that ward location is. Dark Margo's still waiting in the trees. We'll see people. Okay, we're getting. Lumi popped out in the trees.
Cause the turtle wins the race here. The turtle wins the race. Slowly but surely, they want to siege every single tier 3.
Oh my god.
Go mid and take that tier 3, boys.
I really thought this Dark Margo BKB cooldown was actually going to be like something for them to go high ground with. This is... You got it, Tini. Let's go. Just go Wukongs.
I mean, they're just giving a lot of respect to Boom. Just like if they do this, this, and this perfectly, we could actually be in trouble. Like if it's a toss back into Hook, into Purge, and then another toss, and then all of a sudden you're back in the enemy fountain. You don't want to be there, do you? Because that's a possibility. That's probably what's going through her head here. They got 1 minute though. This is like the moment of truth if they want to go for this. Because if they don't go for it now, they're sure as hell not going to do it when Aegis is gone.
Me, give him the Lotus. As soon as he enters the high ground,
the Hook.
He's going to be very deep inside the base, but does it actually matter? He can infest the creep to try and get away. BKB's in the backpack, and of course, Rage being on cooldown, so Lumia is goddamn survivable. They might not even kill him the first life. PP's now going to look to try and enter the team fight with the peak Wukong's command. This is all Infinity's base. The escape is only going to be off the back of the Wind Wakers, but these barracks should finally fall because gets a nice hook onto PP. This Monkey King's falling low. He needs a way to keep alive, and he's not going to find it. No Jingu stacks. And now this Aegis is out actually in a couple of seconds. Boom. Are they doing it? No way. Maybe the respect Infinity needed to give it to them because this high ground defense, it is working off. Gardic once again tossed inside the base. Arcano will escape by the looks of it with the surge. Looks like Lumiere was able to make it out as well.
And all the heroes with the cheese not able to do anything there. And like the craziest part of that. Actually, the double siege trying to get the barracks. They didn't even use their glyph. And I feel like Lemire definitely could have killed that barracks there, but he was like so confused on what was happening. It was such a high pressure situation he was put into. He's like, Aegis is done 1 minute, let's go. The fight lasted a whole minute. He's like, oh no, I'm at like 10% health and Aegis is gonna go down here. What do I do? And this is why we see Dark Widow banned so much. He actually got rooted like 17 times on Lemire there in that single fight. How many of the casts did he get off of it? He cast 3 Bramble Mazes in there and several Cursed Crowns. So you can imagine like the whole base was just littered with these Bramble Mazes. Absolutely annoying. Even with your magic immunity, Lemire is still, like, when it is down, unable to do anything. And but all in all,
he's going Hex as well.
All right, that is the item that we need to see, right? Like if you do that toss back that we saw into a Hex, all of a sudden, I think he's actually killable. You're gonna get the chain stun off, and it might be a different game here.
So I guess maybe the one saving grace, maybe you have a couple, but the big one, I don't know if we've spoken about the Scepter on Earth Spirit. He's got a Blink Dagger queued up. So maybe with the Remnant, could be able to protect the all or nothing committal into the Lifestealer.
Yeah, it definitely has potential if you can get there. And that Blink will be a step in the right direction. He has a BKB to cover him, so just in general, I think just being able to get in there and kick any hero back, whether it's an enemy or an ally, is going to be very valuable this game. And that's just like late game Dota for you. There's so many options for every single hero on what they can do in this game. And a big one of is Matthew too. Like what he's doing in these fights with this Aghanims is pretty much just reducing Lifestealer's capabilities by so much. Like he loses 140 attack speed every time he gets purged. He loses his lifesteal as well from the feast. And those are like 2 really big passives that you need on a Lifestealer to be able to sustain these fights. And they probably feel like, well, without an Aegis, it's definitely too dangerous. So is this a smoke play happening here? It just got purchased on the courier. It's not available now, so they're gonna have to shove out a wave or 2 before they go out and try to make a play happen here. But as you see, boom, they're just turtled away in the base. They do not want to leave. They want you to come in their base. And Dota's just a game right now where you can actually just sit in your base forever. And what do you do as the enemy team? Either you get frustrated and you run into it, or you just go farm everything.
This was, I must say, one thing I was hoping was addressed a little bit with the patch was late game Dota. On the turtle, turtling up. I mean, it would have been a huge patch if they add facets and innate abilities and also kind of change the mechanic of the game and your map and whatever. But this is definitely, I think, one thing a lot of people had some frustrations with in the last patch was just, you know, teams use buybacks, then all of a sudden you just sit in base for 7 minutes, and which is something we might be seeing.
Well, you do what you got to do to win the game.
Yes.
That's what they're gonna be doing for this one. They had a window. The problem with high ground is it's just so hard to execute. Like, it's not impossible. It's just like you mess up once, you die. But if you mess up while defending, you buy back and you're just there again, right? Just instantly. You have so much margin. Like, yeah, you just have to like play around the buybacks. If you're the sieger, you can't be out of position. You can't be jumping when you shouldn't be jumping, and you have to have a clear vision of how you want to do it. When you're defending, you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna throw some spells out and we'll just see how this goes. And oh, they're messing up, guys. We can actually commit. Like, it's just way harder to siege than it is to defend.
How long has Sacred had Hex for? I mean, he's got 5,100 gold in the bank as well. He must have had it for a while. I don't notice it now. Tiger, oh my god. Wait, dude, oh my.
He's good. Calculated. And that's just a 280 gold Tormentor, as everyone in this game has a shard.
Oh, well, another Scepter? Who do we want this? Potentially Darkseer or Monkey? I would imagine probably the Monkey King.
Yeah, I mean, Monkey King for sure. Oh, Darkseer, too good. I mean, you're not really making any good illusions this game, but I guess the normal punch can do some damage. I don't know, I feel like Monkey King with Scepter is pretty OP when you have all these DPS items, but whatever.
Yeah. Can Infinity just, like, again, Wukong's high ground and then you have Refresher on PP? Is this how we can siege?
You for sure can do that if you want to, but you got to do it smart, right? And it might even be one of those games where we saw Lemire, like, he doesn't really die. Just hit the barracks while they're messing around with your lifesteal, right? There's a lot of options. I think slowly but surely you can do it, but that's the big thing. Like, you have to do it perfectly. If you mess it up even just a little bit, well, you get a fight like the last one. And now we got 3 cheeses. Maybe we need a cheese on every single hero before we can do this. We're only 1 Roche away, because apparently these fights, we don't even need to use the cheese. They're not turning out that way.
See, Boom had a pretty solid high ground defense previously.
Monkey King's going to the back line here. It's gonna be a little bit dangerous. Oh, he tried to predict it. It was a little off. BKB used by
there we go. They're gonna BKB in Wukongs. This time the glyph will be used. They got the kickback onto the Tiny. Wind Waker out of the base. Dark Margo stuck. Blink back up is actually going to be able to get some distance, so he's okay. Importantly, the Wukongs to try and secure the objectives. It is now expired, but Lumia's got Rage and full set of barracks now claimed. Finally, the boys on Infinity able to crack the high ground.
Just rinse and repeat that, really. Like, if you just focus on the objectives, you're never going to have an issue. I think the issue they had before is they're trying to kill heroes. And that just isn't the objective anymore when you go to the high ground, because, you know, it's actually worse to kill heroes, because you get low, you kill them, and then they just come back and you have no spells, right? And then you die. So if you actually just don't even hit them, you have no problem. There's a chance here. You just wait for this Monkey King. 39 seconds on the BKB, 24 seconds on the Wukongs. That's all you need. But you have to keep in mind, Monkey King does not have the facet where if he gets out of the Wukongs, it will disappear immediately. You can't go back into it to refresh it. So maybe the objective here is either to use Terrorize, Hook, whatever it might be to try and get him out of this Wukong. That could be a win condition here for you.
To mention as well, we asked Shadow Demon's Court.
Oh, yep. What's he going for? Is he going for a Hex too, maybe?
Okay.
An energy booster.
Zoom it on back.
Aether Lens it is. A little more cast range.
Just to recap as well, we still have 10 people with buyback. 10 people. I'm sick. Oh, she was 60 minutes in, so... Yep. Apparently it's desolated now for the lifestealer. We're going to see Sacred be able to get out of the base and try and pick up some of their own neutrals.
I'm surprised they're not trying to go again with this Wukongs. Like, there's no glyph. Or is there glyph? Yeah, there is. Okay, they actually killed the melee barracks, so it refreshed it. They had glyph last fight too, and they still wiped up those Raxes like it was absolutely nothing.
Maybe they just wanted some of the neutrals because they got 4 now. Yeah, again, not going to mess around. Just instant BKB, Wukongs. Your full screen is covered. There's some big monkey illusions.
Got the giant swing.
Oh, got a hook. Under the tier 4 tower. There's one. That's a lot of damage, man. Hang on. He's just gone. Now, yes, he does have an Aegis to work with, and they're still going to have spells off the back of the respawn. They're able to do it once. Can they do it a second time? PP's going to activate the second Wukongs. Hook onto Lumiere further inside the base, but it looks like he's going to be fine. Getting defensive geomatic grip and the infest. He's stuck inside a bramble, but he's going to render up himself, surf away from the base, and Esports along with the lifestealer out can Infinity all escape on their members guarding. The one person that might have some difficulty with the toss back into because looks like Gardic will be the only casualty of war in this fight.
Their last barracks is dying to siege creeps right now, by the way.
Ooh.
It's getting low. Go, little Cardies. Go. Not quite. I mean, you don't have glyph available anymore. It's just a moment of just seconds, really, at this point. If you just want to go again, 3 cheeses still available. PP He did exactly what I wanted him to do in that fight. Ignore Lemire. Who cares? Just go for the objectives. Let Lemire get hooked into the base twice. But now that you have no boots on any heroes, this is when Pudge's hooks become even more devastating. You can't dodge him anymore. He's too slow.
So what is this where we are waiting for fourth cheese? They're trying to go for the 5-man cheese. We got to wait for next rush. 2 minutes 30 potentially till it's up. They don't have a big enough lead.
I mean, you might as well. I mean, I think a bare minimum waiting for a refresher orb on Monkey.
Okay. Do you like the scepter on Margot? I mean, not a lot of trees inside the base to be... Okay, well, he's got Rapier queued up. So Scepter Rapier apparently is the call.
Yeah, I'm down. I mean, I think the Scepter, he just ideally wants to just eat it and not use an inventory slot, right? And then after that, he'll sell his boots for the Rapier. I think that's like his vision for the ultimate 6 slots. And here we go again.
For Margot to be able to get there. We are back underway. So let's see. What is the call? We're going to wait for everything to be back up on Infinity. No buybacks were also still used in the previous little engagement that we had. So still 10 people holding buyback in just game 1. Our final series of the night. Of course, a lot on the line here. Boom Infinity, lower bracket. Boom starting here with making it through the second round of the Open Qualifiers. Infinity getting knocked down by Beast Coast in pretty convincing form. Honestly, Beast Coast looked really good. That was a 31-minute victory, 30-minute victory as well. But Infinity, they've come to play today. They are looking very solid in this game 1. They're just having some difficulty with closing this one out.
Some difficulty with their internet connection too, just taking turns disconnecting here, one at a time.
Yes. Matthew has a pirate hat. I mean, we can do this. We haven't had time. So what do we got? Has everyone got neutrals? We do. So pirate hat on Matthew. Sacred's got the magic lamp. You got a couple of sea stones as well. Tiny Picard's holding one, and the Book of Shadows from Tiger. Then Infinity got some mirror shields. We already saw PP with that big old giant's ring. Legend Desolator on the Lifestealer. So no, I mean, are there any ones that you kind of see that are crazy? That could be like, I don't know, game winning, fight winning, have impact, or they're kind of just, is unlucky.
I mean, Book of Shadows is always one you have to keep an eye on. Matthew's pirate hat, you got to watch out for that Shadow Demon's right clicks. I don't know if you know this, but Shadow Demon's innate ability is called Menace. Shadow Demon's attacks apply 2% amplified damage debuff on the enemy for 8 seconds. It's stacking.
Holy.
It's actually, if he actually does right click you like a bunch, you can die from this. I don't know how the hell he should buy Dragon Lance now, honestly.
The lance or like, so the hook back into Picard's Dismember, and then Matthew's right clicking, you're amping up the damage, and then, because we did see Lumiere, I was actually surprised at how he died from 4 to 0, I think, in like 1 Dismember under the T4 tower. So maybe also with the Shadow Demon extra damage amp now.
Yep.
It's all coming together.
It's all coming together. That's the game changer right there. Nobody knows about the Menace, but that's something that's going to get you when you underestimate it.
Don't underestimate this. Sacred out of the base. Hook, unfortunately, a little bit too late. He's got a buyback, and they're just going to commit for the last set of barracks. Mega creeps. No, the cards. Dark Marco's going to try and jump into the golden ring. He's looking for the toss out. Did he get both of them? Lumiere as well now tries to turn the Dismember's not going to work in their favor. A Sacred off the back of the respawn tries to come crashing in, but how can you take a team fight into the second Wukongs? Multiple buybacks have been committed from the boys on Boom. They get anything out of this though? A bit of a heavy commitment, and it looks like Infinity are out. Snatch and grab as well. They'll get the gem, get the barracks, and live with their lives.
We'll probably get Roshan too. All right, we got 10 seconds on Roshan. I got 2 minutes and 15 seconds on this respawn. One of these days, I'll guess it. 2:15, 2:15. 1:11. Unlucky.
That's what do we got? 33,000 net worth lead. Triple smoke. All right, Margaret. Let's see the rapier. Sell some stuff. Go farm. Don't even come back to the base if they start to hit your objectives.
Just sell some stuff. Just sell your inventory and get the rapier. I mean, he's gonna sell his boots for sure. He's getting there. But he also has to wait for these trees to respawn. Oh no, don't use those trees, they're valuable.
What? What is going on?
Everyone's jumping around.
Doug, they're not even like smiling or anything. I can't. Doug Wagner just blank face, just got hooked, tossed, everyone's vanishing. They're just secrets just jumping everywhere. They're not even like breaking a smile or anything.
It's just known as Dota players. Not much you can do at this point. Have a little bit of fun.
Do you buy out for the rapier or do you hold buyback if you're...
I don't. I probably just buy the rapier. Because it's hard to say, right? Is a second life on Dark Mago going to be better, or just the burst damage that they desperately need? I think you just buy the rapier because I think you need the damage, and if you buy back,
I hope he doesn't buy the full thing. Oh, he bought the full thing.
Woo!
Okay. Oh my god,
flew it right over his head.
Oh.
I mean, that's a Chad move. Like, he didn't even walk combining on it. He's just
no, that's not it. That's not a Chad move. You can't. You need to be disciplined. We're speaking about discipline. This is like, you can't be 67 minutes in by rapier and like not lock one of the components.
Yes, you can. He just did it, and he got it. That's where he proved you wrong.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, so what do you do now? You just have like your support Tiger drops all his inventory slots and just puts Iron Branch on the ground because how you have no barracks to be able to play on the outskirts. Like they're gonna run tier 4 tower, drop Wukongs, and you're gonna have no trees. It needs to be like a hook.
Look where he's standing though.
Well,
like you're baiting him to Dark Mago in the base. The only problem is Pokals has to hit a hook. Like he might. Keeps on fishing. And it's fishing. Oh,
they're in.
There we go. Here comes the tree volley.
Let's see the volley and how much damage it's going to be able to do. It's just tickling. Did it do damage? I didn't even think it did any damage. I mean, my screen is covered of
Round
big
2
golden monkey illusions. This tree volley's doing a little bit more. Gets a couple lucky crits. Another round of the Rolling Thunder. Dark Marco is running out of trees, and unfortunately, they're running out of base as well. It's a nice hook. Lumiere's going to get caught. Can they get another hook inside the base? It's probably going to matter. Turn to the throne, deal with the exposed building, and finally close out this game. 68 minutes is what it took for Infinity to claim game 1.
Well, he's up to play against some hard counters and still be able to show a good showing.
Yeah, let's see if he can replicate that, and let's see if the team's going to be able to replicate that as well. Get ourselves underway here. Any crazy facets that we have?
Crazy
Darksy went for the movement speed one, so not the wit's end. I think it's called wit's end.
Yeah, I mean, he got that last game too. I think the only one that is slightly different is going to be, yeah, the Darkseer one and then the Centaur one. The Centaur ended up getting Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike, that's another Valve game. But anyway, he got that ability.
Good job, V, thank you.
I was thinking of the creativity of some of these names, right? But anyway, regardless of that, normally people get the Workhorse one where you don't need boots, right? That is the typical one, so he's going for the atypical build here.
You're no peer of the sea.
Not sure how good this one is, because pretty much every other Centaur gets, yeah, the Workhorse. Or whatever it's called. Maybe it's not Workhorse. That's like the
I think it is
Ags.
Workhorse.
Isn't that the Ags?
Oh, man. All right, fire.
Yeah, I'm tripping you up. No, I'm checking. Horsepower.
Horsepower, okay.
Yeah,
close enough.
workhorse
And it
is
is
the
a
Axe.
workhorse, yeah, okay, okay. I mean, they're too close. PP's gonna ruin it. Walk he might actually die here, yeah. Shots from Matthew blocks off the stairs. Now PP slowed down with the blood grenade and with the spam of the arc lightning. Another blood grenade needed. And they're gonna be able to get him in the end. Dark Mogo has to use all his mana. But at least he got first blood, so it's gonna be an early bottle. They got a D-ward mid as well, some extra bounties, so
Extra
this is,
gold,
it's a pretty
extra
good start.
experience. Yeah, the Zeus is starting the lane with a half-level advantage. And, what, almost, yeah, another 400 gold as well. So, he did have to use all his mana for it, as you mentioned, but bottles come out. He doesn't really care that much. It is worth it. And yet again, we're seeing time and time again, people that are on Dire are blocking this Radiant safe lane just so you can get a better lane equilibrium for your offlaner, and oftentimes using 3 heroes to do so.
Why is there a sided difference where we're seeing Dai do it more than Radiant, or is it just kind of, it just tends to be for some reason Dai teams are doing it more? There's actually, it doesn't particularly matter about kind of the map.
Oh, the map matters a lot. It's just because on Radiant the creeps spawn right in front of the tower, but on Dire they don't. So it's very, very easy to block the creeps just a little bit to get them into the tower. Or when you're on Dire, you block the Radiant creeps, right? Where on Dire, the creeps meet much further. I don't know why it is this way, but on Dire, the creeps don't land right in front of the tower like they do on Radiant. So it's much, much harder to block and make that actually happen.
Okay.
Oh, I feel better.
Is this like, as a carry player, is that like frustrating? Like, does that happen to you often where people are blocking?
Radiant's annoying to play.
Yeah, okay.
Like, there's 2 things that happen. It's either you push the lane in right away, so there's some matchups that'll help you, but overall in general, just like, I want consistency, you know what I mean? I would rather both sides be exactly the same instead of having to like, oh, I'm Radiant again. They're just gonna block the wave and help my offlaner here. So, I mean, eventually they'll get to it and they'll fix it, or maybe this is just an aspect of the game they want to be there as well, right? It's like, maybe just not carbon copy like both sides here. That might not be fun. It's kind of cool to actually have unique scenarios for depending on what side you play on.
Because would you say at the moment, I mean, it is very early on in the patch and it changed a lot of heroes, but at least from what I'm seeing, it doesn't particularly feel like there is a side that is entirely favored. I know in the past, your Radiant or Dire have had a bit of an edge, but do you see that at the moment between Radiant and Dire?
I don't really know right now because I don't feel it right now. But at the high end levels, like I don't scrim anymore or anything like that. And I think that's where you really start to notice those small details is when you're playing super high level Dota. So as of now, like, I don't know what side's better. I have no idea. I think Dire does have the little bit of advantage on the off lane because of what we just mentioned, how the Radiant creeps meet so close to the tower where you can do these lane manipulations. But then again, Radiant has some cool things as well.
Dude, look at this. What's PP doing here? I mean, this Monkey King, this was a pivotal reason of why he was able to have success in that previous game, and they're going to make sure they give him the kill. So really nicely done from PP. This is reminiscent almost of like Primal Beast rotating at the level 4 mark, and really helps the fact that he has this facet here with the Simian Stride. Bottom lane as well, we've got a kill this time onto the Centaur, so Matthew and Bakaz, like they're going to be able to hit the board once again for Boom.
Maybe this mid Monkey King does go for this facet just because he can leave the lane and come back so quickly. That would make sense. Like, I don't think as a carry, there's not going to be as many situations where it's going to be as good. But I don't know, I'm kind of looking at Dark Mago's net worth, and it's kind of ridiculous.
Oh, I feel better already.
Let me take a look. I can't click Y. Oh yeah, fire out. He's holy crap, 2,800?
Yeah, he is. I know he got first blood and everything, but he is like absurdly farmed on the Zeus. He's closing in on level 6.
Why does he have so much damage? I still do not understand. I remember when there was a time where you could like only last it with Arc Lightning. There's 75 damage.
Oh.
Like, yeah, he's level 5, I get that, but still like level 1, he can out right click people, and that never used to be the case. Once again, PP, Another rotation, and Lumi's actually going to toss the Darkseid onto the double boundless. They've got the Avalanche to cover the Surge away. Dude, I'm enjoying Infinity playing with this Monkey King so much. They are looking incredibly clean. This PP Monkey King with the rotations, you're combining their spells together.
Mago, though.
You got ultimate, it will not be required. Okay, it will be needed, so gets an easy kill.
It's not required, but I think just in general using Zeus ult is a very big nuisance to the map state, right? Like all of a sudden now bottom lane might just be like, oh, we're kind of low. I mean, they weren't, but you get the point. That sometimes just throwing that ult out there causes people to like buy more salves and stuff like that. I don't mind him just throwing it out there. And yeah, to answer your question about Zeus, there's a reason why they gave him base damage, because he never used to have base damage and he just was never picked. And he just lost every lane. And they're like, how can we make Zeus good again? Give him base damage. And now he became good, and then it's like, did we actually want this? A lot of Zeus players out there. What have we done?
The Zeus is one hero player. Here is stand back, spam spells. The Manta build was pretty fun as well. Different playstyle of the hero.
Yeah. Rest in peace. You don't think that Manta build was in the game for so long? And people are just like, it's not good. It's bad. Don't go. It's a meme. It's a meme build. And then over time, people are like, wait a second.
Yeah, hang on.
Maybe we're on to something here. And then it got so popular that it had to get nerfed. So I'm sure there's some really vindicated early stage, you know, Manta enjoyers on Zeus. Is he gonna do the jump? I mean, this is kind of a hard kill, I think.
Jump. He's committed. Where's PP? I'm kind of surprised that the Monkey King's not wanting to move over. He's starting to come now, but I mean, not going to be able to get the toss, and Sacred with the Surge gets Margot out. But that's kind of impactful. Margot gets no kills, wastes a lot of time, full wave under the tower that's going to be denied, and he used a lot of his mana. Luckily, I mean, Arcane Boots is an incredible item that did not change, so he's back up the half.
I mean, Arcane Boots are just like a net fun item, you know what I mean? Just, you're gonna cast more spells instead of just being out of mana all the time. It's like they nerfed a lot of the mana burn in the game, and they buffed the mana boots. So everyone that was complaining about, man, mana burn's anti-fun, now everyone has mana for days. And the cause.
The Strike's gonna be able to set up for the Wolf Stomp because looks like he's got a skill point available. They're actually going to TP Margot down, and Arcano, well, they were the first ones to go for the attempt from Infinity, and PP. I think it's actually back-to-back rotation to the Monkey King that have not rewarded in a kill.
All right. How does this Counter-Strike facet work? Double edge damage is increased by 25% of the damage Centaur took. Oh, I see. So it's like a flat amount of damage that you took. So I can see this in the late game being pretty ridiculous once you have like a heart and they're super tanky. Whereas it's not the workhorse. What is it? The other horse? Horsepower.
Yeah, yeah, that one.
It's probably better for like the early game.
Yeah, because I mean, the one benefit of that one, right, is, I mean, of course, you don't have to go boots. So you just have like an extra bracer for stats. Maybe if that's a lane where you feel like it's more trade heavy, where you need that, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe this, you know, overall like Counter-Strike gives you some late game threat, because I mean, I even saw Centaur in the China qualifiers recently have a lot of success in late game, like just with double edge, even without the facet, you do so much damage.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna come down to the damage of that versus, you know, the extra item slot you get, because you don't have to buy boots in the late game too, is pretty insane as well. We'll see how it plays out. It's definitely very fun and interesting to see people try new things, because you'll never know how good something is if nobody ever tries it.
This is, I know, like to start our qualifiers, this is something you were saying, like you were a little, you weren't that much of a fan of like all the facets, you know, both of them weren't viable. For a lot of heroes, it was only just one. And currently we are seeing a couple of heroes who you actually do have to consider about the other facet. It's not just like an auto select of one of them. Once again, bottom troll. Gonna be gone on Matthews. He's gonna be able to step in range here for the snowball. Looks like Lumiere's rotation from the portal. That is what they were missing prior. Now they are gonna smoke with 2 heroes down bottom, but it might be a little bit too late.
Whoa.
Matthews still got the snowball. Actually, not even going to need it. Guarding off the mark. A little messy there with the spells. And Argo's still going to be cautious. Banishment allows him to close the distance. And he's trying to get himself away. It's an okay snowball, but it's not going to matter in the end. Just all the
What's happening?
should be in their favor. Sacred. How is Margot not dead? Are you serious? The mechanism from Sacred keeps the Zeus alive. And the arcane rune means he can spam all his spells back to back. And boom, they actually come out on top. What was looking like a horrific fight, only person that died was Bakaz at the start.
Yeah, I mean, that looks like it was going to go super well for Infinity. I was like, wow, this Tiny is giga farmed right now. He's going to clean house, but like the turnaround with the Darkseer and the Venomancer wrapping from behind there with the Noxious Plague available and casting in that fight with the wall. And of course, I think the big deal breaker there was the mech was available for Darkseer. And he was able to get that off and save Dark Mago to turn around with all the damage with that Arcane Rune. So from something that looked bad, and I'm glad to see a replay of this. And I was like, that Sunray was a bit awkward, but at the end, didn't really matter. I'm sure Gardic was happy how that one turned out. And I'm just like, okay, look at all these heroes. There's 3 heroes coming in. The Zeus has to for sure die, but the snowball save, into the Venomancer showing up, into the mechanism, the wall, everything. Great turnaround there as we saw 10 heroes show up for this 10-minute fight in the bottom lane.
Look at this action. What, 12 kills already, 12 minutes in, your 3,000 net worth lead though for Boom. Who's the real person behind it? Looks like Centaur's the one that's struggling at the moment. 3 deaths here for Arcano. Blink currently queued up for himself as well. A bit of an adaptation from what we saw in the last game too. PP's actually going to be going down the Maelstrom route, so I wonder why he's going Maelstrom this game instead of the previous one.
I think in this particular game, he probably wants to get the Gleipnir for just more control, because the Darkseer is a hero that can get locked down pretty easily with a Gleipnir rush, where in the last game, you generally get a pick, right? It's either going to be like a Desolator or it's going to be a Maelstrom on Monkey King. And especially when you're versus Troll too, right? You really just want to play these fights by trying to kite him out as much as you can. So he just probably sees a lot of value and kite potential from getting a Gleipnir in this game.
You have ultimates online from either side, so ready to go. Supernova here for Gardic. Want to try and crack their heads down bottom once again, but we've seen what has happened the past couple of times that they've attempted to go into Bakaz's domain, who's getting really close to a pretty good Battle Fury timing. In fact, he's going to have it delivered. It'll be about 13th 30 in.
Yeah, that's definitely an ideal Battle Fury timing here, especially because he does have the phase boots as well on top of it, so he's going to be cruising in the net worth department here.
Very like I'm still trying to see like where a lot of this net worth is coming, and of course, you know, the offlaners is the big one for me. I mean, Tiger, I just noticed he maxed out Plague-Ward, so playing a lot for his own game. 46 last hits already. We're gonna have to see how he looks to itemize this game to have impact with all the gold that he's building up.
Yep. Just gonna be annoying. I mean, that's what Veno does, right? He just kind of takes a lane and commandeers it, makes it his own. That's a billion Plague Wards there. Doesn't feel good to kill him either, because he'll always get off his ult or something, and you'll lose half your health or more just trying to kill him, and the rewards will persist after his death, so they'll just let him live there for now. And they'll just trade the towers here. But yeah, the Tiny is very farmed in this game, and he's going to go for the Shadow Blade build this one. This is the build I typically saw, but a lot of the other Tinies in the region have been preferring the Blink Dagger. Maybe against the Venomancer and Zeus might be too risky to go for that Blink. Too many ways to cancel that one out. But they'll farm it up for now, trade the towers, And I wonder how this game is going to go the later it goes, because both of them have really good team fight. Like, you have Darkseer, Veno, Zeus on one side, and you also have, like, the other side as well, where you have, like, a Monkey King ult to deal with, and the Supernova. So I think both these teams are just going to play this game pretty slow here, farm it up. You do have a Maelstrom on the Monkey King. This is a far less aggressive type of build. Just hit the creeps.
So, does it sound like, importantly though, this is not a game where it goes late one side is just ultra favored? A lot of it is just going to come down to execution and spell casting.
Yeah, I think it's really going to come down to execution. But if I were to favor a team in the late game, it would theoretically be the troll, because on paper, as mentioned, this hero looks really good this game, and he has a good game so far. He's farming up. You don't have a lot of answers to deal with him. You have some ways to kite him, but obviously they picked troll for a reason here. It's because you don't have a lot of ways to kite him, and that's why you can see the Monkey King itemizing in to help deal with that a little bit. And even if you do deal with them, you still have to deal with Dark Mago, who's also chucking a billion damage in the backlines.
You do not have any ways to really mitigate the Zeus's damage. No pipe builder like we see Sacred going into, no auras. I mean, Arcano is going Eternal Shroud. He's going to protect himself. Of course, we'll have BKBs eventually, I would imagine, but how are you going to be able to get on top of the Zeus is really the ultimate thing. Yes, you have a lot of mobile heroes with Stampede, your Tiny Monkey, but he too has heroes to play in front of him. So currently, boom, this net worth lead is continuing to grow, and the map is going to be that much more easy to play. You've got Blink Dagger almost online here from Matthew. So he's going to be able to jump in, start fights, even use those snowballs defensively to be able to protect some of his core heroes.
But until then, is there even like an item timing that they'd really wait for other than Troll? I mean, Troll realizes he has so much space. Yeah. But there's a Shadow in here. And they're gonna deward him. They know the Roche is happening. Again, don't tell me they're gonna try and steal this Roche. There's like a negative 0% chance you can do this.
How is he actually?
There's literally no chance. Is he just gonna walk in?
No way, no way. It's just what? He bet.
That was like
He
the lowest
poisoned
percent
first.
chance. I mean, he needed vision, right?
Dude, you can't poison first. It's not, you just have to blind walk in. There's no way you poison first and you walk in. It's just not gonna happen. It's just not.
That was less than 1% chance of working, I think. But he went for it anyway. What a boss.
Oh my god, okay. So what, Age is given over to Pakaz. We have, still sticking around top. You got a pretty decent ward. You're also seeing some of the other heroes from Infinity importantly show on the lane. Does look like this tower is going to take a bit of a beating.
And Pakaz is really gearing up this game to be quite a monstrous threat with this Aegis in hand. Of course, this Tiny, he's farming still too. He's top of the net worth. It's really just the Centaur and the Monkey King to some degree falling behind a little bit. And even if you look at the supports, this Venomancer, he does have Vessel available too, going into the drums. By far the most farm support in the game right now. Just a scouting ult is going to be thrown out by Dark Mago there. And he actually ended up going for the Kaya and Sanj here. No Yasha Kaya for him. Pretty funny on Zeus as well.
Cause is away from the team. I don't know what happened with the toss back because they're going to try and supernova on top of the heads. He committed with the battle trance as well. It's not going to happen for the second lap because it's just live stealing through the damage output. And now, importantly, he survived long enough for the rest of the team to respond and Infinity need to get out. They get the Ages at least. It was a bit messy though. They were looking. Lumia tried to toss onto the Centaur, but the Centaur jumped in, so he just went nowhere. In the end, you're 1 for 1. You still had Ages for another 3 minutes, but Boom are just going to walk top.
Yeah, I mean, you ended up using Stampede and Supernova. You could probably force this tower. I mean, there is no wall, but I think... With no Supernova, you're not really afraid of anything currently. So the thing about Tiny versus Troll is an interesting matchup as well, because I don't think this is really good for Troll in the game. Because Craggy Exterior seems like it's incredibly good versus heroes that right-click very quickly, right? Like you can get 10% or 10 stacks. Looks like we're gonna get a kill here. But we saw in that fight that Tiny, like he wasn't taking much damage from the Troll. Hit him 10 times. And he gets like 50% damage reduction. Kind of bad for the Troll, right?
And another thing actually I wanted to bring up as well, like I thought the Shadow Demon was a pretty good support versus the Troll with the Purge. Is this something that, whether my read is just different or is not as much of a factor? Because I thought it was kind of frustrating where you could get kited inside the fights.
Versus Shadow Demon?
Yeah. If you get purged on Bakaz, is that actually something like it can be a bit frustrating for Troll or not really?
Yes, it can be, but it's not as frustrating for Troll as compared to some other heroes, I guess. Because when you do press your battle chance, you get a bunch of movement speed, right? So you can kind of still, if you're on a target, you're like chain rooting them anyway and it won't matter. But if you get purged and you don't have a target yet, then yes, it could be very annoying. So
guys,
how they use it's gonna be very important.
You don't take Tormentor very well, my friends. This is not going to be too easy of a time. This is one thing about Tiny, like you kill buildings, but Roche Tormentors you don't kill. And like, I respect the Thunders. I respect it. I was, yeah. Well, you see one person die. He was pretty quick on that too.
I mean, Gardic was probably like, I'm gonna die anyway. I'm just gonna commit to this and die to the Tormentor at least.
Connor?
Later.
Okay, I mean, dude, his game is just, I don't know. This man, he struggled a lot yesterday on Centaur, and this game already 5 deaths. He's really having a rough go here for him. He had a great Darkseid performance previously, but unfortunately, he's just not able to replicate that. Maybe don't do it.
Darkseid's just an OP hero. Maybe Boom had the right read. Get this Darkseid out of their hand. You don't even need to be good in the game. You just build pipe. You force people to pick heroes that are on paper good against you. But it doesn't matter
what are you
anyway.
trying to say? You're saying it's a brain dead hero and they're not good, the players?
Oh, well, I didn't say it's a brain dead hero, but it's a good hero. I mean, I'm not afraid to admit when a hero's a brain dead hero. Like, Lifestealer's a pretty brain dead hero. You actually have to, like, any hero that has some sort of vector targeting
Cause
isn't brain dead.
again. And he was thinking about going to the small camp. They are actually smoking down. I've got the read that Infinity are currently playing down inside the lane. So for 4v5, Shadow Demon's not with the boys. Arcana tries to jump in, but Matthew responds. PP, this is not a go. Leaps over the top, somehow doesn't get clipped with any damage. All over the north as well. They're still trying to hunt. They got a glimpse on Lumiere. But the wall, plague, everything. Avalanche only delays the inevitable. And that is a big kill. Your top net worth hero on Infinity is going to go down.
Tiny is not so insurmountable this game. The net worth advantage is a little too much to overcome here. Sure, you can still win fights. It's not like unwinnable, but if your Phoenix dies first in these fights, you don't got a chance. Like, you really have to start with a Centaur Blink into an instant egg, into a Gleipnir, into a Monkey King ult, into a Tiny stun. Like, there's avenues to take these fights, but if your Phoenix is getting chased down first, yeah, it's just not happening. Tiger, he actually, yeah, he picked up the Light Collector. This is one of the few heroes left in Dota where you can counter him with this item. The other one's like Nature's Prophet, right?
We'll see somehow if he's going to be able to break the trees.
I mean, he just killed them in general.
Tiger.
So without those trees being there, at least Monkey can't set up, right? So that does have some value. Like 30 seconds. It's a very long cooldown.
30 seems a bit too long for such a crappy active. When is this active good at? Like, besides now?
It's not an NP, right? If you get stuck in Sprout. Those are like the only two that I think. Oh, it's also good versus Hoodwink too, because you can just destroy the Bushwhack.
16,000 net worth lead that Boom been able to accumulate here in our second game. Lumiere is going to face check the Troll, but the Troll has reinforcements and Sacred is the big hero. They feel like they're not that far behind, but this net worth lead says otherwise. Boomer on a roll right now. Mid lane, Arcano is going to be caught. Matthew on Blink initiating here as we see how different of a performance this is from Boom. It is just clean from them. Start to finish, only 4 deaths. Matthew, I mean, he'll be the sacrifice, but the rest of the team on Infinity, they are stuck in the middle. PP's going to try and man fight. He's forced to when he commits the Wukongs, but Arcano, there is no escape. With the Blink continuing to be put on cooldown, Tiger and Dark Margot, and they're out. And,
they're done.
And Boom, an exceptional second game from them. Just night and day difference. Read the lead they have. They continue to play up in the face of Infinity, and they're going to be rewarded. We're going to another game 3.
Yep, hasn't been a single game 3 in day number 1 or the first half of day number 2, but we've been lucky enough to get 2 3-game series here. The competition's starting to get tighter, and that's what you want to see, right? Like, as the tournament progresses, you want to see the teams being closer and closer into skill. The adaptation for this game apparently was just pick Darkseer. That seemed to do the trick for them there. And I think just in general, their first draft, it had a lot of flaws in it. You gave them that illegal last pick Lifestealer. Nothing of that nature really happened in this particular game. You had a really good Troll Warlord pick here. Of course, you had ways of playing around it. Didn't feel like this was like just a GG type of pick by picking Troll. It was a good pick for sure, but more than anything, fights like these are kind of what shaped the game. It was like a very close game until this fight happened. And it felt like after this, you kind of ran out of play options. Like this mid Monkey King, I called it feast or famine, right? It's kind of like looks super damn good, or it kind of looks like this, right? Where it doesn't really do much on the map. And maybe it comes down to like Dark Mago getting this first blood. It changed a lot of this game. He snowballed way too damn hard. But overall, I think some weird things happened in this game, including that first blood. And boom, they made a good adjustment. I don't know what the deal is with this Darkseer entirely, but clearly there's something here about this Darkseer in this series, and I won't be surprised since it won both games, but it makes its way into the first phase ban. But if they want to do that, you're gonna have to let something else in the pool.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Well, what is going to be available then if the Darkseer Nautical Coup de Gras one? Or you don't know?
Areas I don't play Forbidden Heroes.
Okay.
Like, there's a reason why they're forbidden. No, I haven't played this hero even once yet. I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't wanted to lose him more.
Maybe it's secret tech, man.
I mean, I'm glad he picked it because now I get to see someone actually play it. But as far as I'm concerned, this hero didn't get any buffs, right? And it already was not in a good spot. So, I mean, PA is still PA. Like, this hero is really, really good in the ultra late game. I don't really think so this game, but just in general, PA is going to make him. She didn't get any new cool abilities. Basically just took the blur and put it on an innate ability. And they just removed it from blur entirely. So now you just have this empty shell of a spell called blur, which just makes you vanish. It's like a smoke of deceit. Press E, you get smoke of deceit. Before it, you got evasion on top of the smoke of deceit, so that was actually pretty good. But I mean, she didn't really lose anything, I guess, for it. It just makes that ability very low value. Probably not even going to skill it until you have at least Dagger and Phantom Strike fully leveled up.
What is this Coup de Grace as well? Why did they change it?
Like the new one?
What the chance of the deadly focusing? What is this? Because there's some like debuff or something. I mean, I haven't seen PA in a while.
Oh, I mean, it's like you get a buff to crit on your next hit. It doesn't just crit automatically. That is the deadly focus. So, and he has a 17% chance to get an icon that shows over his head, which will indicate that your next attack will be a crit. And it was kind of a nerf to the fact that you could just throw a dagger at a support and one-shot him with a lucky crit. Can't really do that anymore. Instead, your dagger gives you a charge, and then your next dagger or your jump in will have a crit.
Well, let's see. A lot of questions about the Phantom Assassin. They have a lot of minus armor, which is one thing. So, we're expecting a Desolator from Lumiere. You got the bugs, you got the Corrosive Haze. Maybe these heroes are going to fall. I mean, we're going to have to see how the armor is going to stack up for the boys on Boom, but maybe there's some crazy, physical damage burst potential, but they need to get to that stage so importantly from Infinity. And last game, they didn't even get close. Boom just blew them out of the water early on.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely didn't. And this laning stage, I mean, for sure it's going to be a free laning stage for the Night Stalker. You're not going to stop them here. But I think you're pretty happy as a PA if you also don't get bullied. And they're trying to go into Matthew here. Level 2 on Sacred. You have to be a little bit careful here. This Night Stalker does own the nighttime with the amount of regeneration. But so far, PA is doing really well in the CS department. Not really missing any of the CS here. Venno, though. The missed chance will keep him alive.
I was trying to turn on to Genny, leading onto the Weaver, another round of the crush, so Car's not able to continue to chase the bug. Feels like side lane should have a lot of action. Definitely top, without a doubt, top lane. Your bottom of the Night Stalker and the Hoodwink, your potential for the Crystal Maiden and the Phantom Assassin, so and we'll see how this mid lane goes. Margot once again on the hero they've had a lot of success on in the previous game, start off. Oh, going to be able to get the first blood because there we go. Speaking about kills, and now Gennik has the bugs to work with. This is going to be a secondary kill inside the lane. Tiger's going to be chased down, and we'll see what Gennik wants to go with all the gold that he just picked up. A double kill that would be an instant earn for the Weaver.
Just a full earn, just like that, with another blood grenade. So that Weaver almost died at first blood. Just salved up, I imagine, and then just going to get a Lotus too. Great start for this top lane here, as I would have not really expected. Well, in a little bit, right? Because like Slaughter does have leg day, but he didn't even skill it yet. So if you do kill him, he is going to for sure just run away, and there's nothing you can do about it. But as for now, they might have a small window here where they can potentially abuse the Slaughter for not having a point to sprint yet. But he's saving his point. He's thinking about it. If he gets scaled, he'll go ahead and skill it up, as he does have the Facet, Leg Day. Slaughter has slow resistance and even more movement speed at the beginning of Guardian. So he is definitely going to be speeding away from Venno. And Gale will come out now.
Bottom lane, got it. It's Frostbite at the last second, but it's not going to matter. Tries to salve up, but it's not happening. Sacred's going to chase you down. Even without the boots, his hero still moving fast at the nighttime. And now Lumiere, another round of the Bushwhack. Cuts down the tree, but it can just play around, of course, with the Acorn shot. Lumiere, double kill. Both supports, position fours, love and life. Matthew gets 2 kills. The boys on Boom.
That was beautiful, actually. Did Night Stalker plant down?
Actually,
or was
maybe,
that
yeah.
Matthew? Either Matthew, they planted down a branch to hit that Bushwhack. Love to see the high individual skill plays here. I don't know if Sacred placed it or Matthew. One of them did. I think it was actually probably Matthew who ended up doing it, because he has no more branches in his inventory.
Mid lane, they are kind of waiting for an opportunity onto Dark Mark. I don't know if they know the Weaver. I mean, he hasn't showed top for a while. And they're going to go. Chains along with the bugs. The TP will come through, but man, the damage. 3 points in sight with a little bit of minus armor, and Gennik will TP back to base. Tiger's going to be lacking the damage.
And we're starting to see why this Weaver is banned in every game so far. It's on a tear.
Chased down.
Gardic is down, but PA's trying her best
Tickling
to do
Matthew.
something. An A for effort there from the Phantom Assassin. As and evasion helps.
They're not done. He actually jumps over to Matthew. Okay, this is a big rotation for Ember. He's actually lacking a little bit of mana, but it turns to Day. Once for Sacred is going to lose his power. Remnant up with the jump over. He's not going to continue going, actually. Chains was about to be off cooldown, but a little bit hesitant there is PP. So might get a refill of the bottle, though. He's able to at least keep Lumiere alive.
Definitely helps a little bit here. I mean, they did first blood because, but he is still crushing this top lane. It's just like one of those whoopsie deaths, right? Didn't really slow his farm down whatsoever, as he is crushing Slaughter in the CS department.
Once for Sacred is going to lose his power. Remnant up with the jump over. He's not going to continue going, actually. Chains was about to be off cooldown, but A little bit hesitant there is PP, so might get a refill. The bottle though is able to at least keep Lumiere alive.
Definitely helps a little bit here. I mean, they did first blood because, but he is still crushing this top lane. It's just like one of those whoopsie deaths, right? Didn't really slow his farm down whatsoever as he is crushing Slardar in the CS department. A lot of that does have to do with the fact that Gannick was like, peace, I'm going to start roaming on other lanes. Maybe it was because of the last game we saw where Dark Mago just went ham on the Zeus, and they just want to make sure that he does not have the same type of performance as he did in our last game.
It is going to help for Margo.
Yeah, Arcano is going to struggle again, though. Is that a concern? I feel like if last game was any indication, yes, it is a concern, but he's having an equally bad start to this game number 3.
See what they're going to be able to do to get him online. Potential rotations out of PP.
You know,
Maybe they could look for...
don't understand. Like, what people's sorry, like people's like ideology of what boots to get. Like Pakaz last game, he bought phase boots, right? And this game he's playing versus like a Slardar, Weaver, a minus armor, and he goes treads.
Hang on, if anyone's gonna know, I feel like you should be giving me some of the answers here. TI carry winner, carry player. Well, I mean, give me something. Like,
I'm trying to figure it out. Like, wouldn't this be a better phase boot game than last game? But he doesn't want to go for it, so it's interesting. That's for sure. I wonder what his rationale is. I personally can't give it to you. I mean, I'm stumped. I'm stumped.
What is your rationale on the phase boots over treads game? I know it's kind of situational depending on like heroes, etc., and you're not seeing what those heroes are, but like if you can give
I mean, a lot of it is if you need the armor, right? If you need armor, phase boots is always going to be better because, yeah, treads don't give you armor. And generally speaking, for power treads, I like it more if I'm being greedy and I kind of want to like farm, right? Because you do farm faster with treads because the attack speed with Battle Fury does feel nicer, which is why I thought last game he'd go treads as well too, right? I was like, oh, okay. He likes the phase boots. I'm sure it's like he has a reason for it. He wants to move a little bit faster, have armor, but in the next game where it seems like armor is even more important, this goes for the treads. So that's why I'm lost as they will get the Weaver. That's a big kill.
Why does Acorn shot do so much goddamn damage? I'm just watching Matthew use 2 Acorn shots, like one we saw on camera there to get the kill. There was one used prior to do like half damage to him, and this ability with the fashion is just so dumb. What am I looking at? This hero is already so stupid previously.
Yeah, I mean, they found a new way to make this hero stupid. You know what I mean? It's like before you just had all this evasion, you couldn't be hit. But now you have this random tree bounce that is just reliable, right? And Tiger will end up going down. And I think that's why we're seeing these hoodwinks. They already were dominating lanes before, but this hero, I dare say, is even stronger in lane than it used to be. And that's kind of like been its like big issue with the hero. It's like too strong in the laning stage. It'll get bounced out eventually, but I don't know how you balance that, because like you just have to bounce the damage, I guess, on Acorn Shot if you want to mess with it. But the moment you make this hero bad in lane, it's just a trash hero. So it's a very touchy subject. It's also why Pango's been good for like 70 years. There is no way to actually make that hero bounced.
And that's kind of the discussion a lot of people have had, right, with heroes just toolkit overall. Like Io has such a unique toolkit, right, where how the hell do you balance that hero? And it's just like some of the numbers, if they're tweaked slightly, is just busted.
Yeah, it's one of those heroes that's either first pick OP or just trash. Just kind of how it works.
Radiant are scanning.
Sacred's going phylactery, very interesting. Gonna rotate as well, so nighttime back up and looking to get active. Had a bit of a passive 5 minutes, but he was just farming along with Lumiere. Everyone's kind of just been farming recently. Haven't seen any rotations. Bakaz is loving life, almost Battle Fury. You know, PP made some movements early on, but he's not really doing anything. I'm just watching Gardic farm an ancient, sorry, farm a stacked neutral camp by himself. Like, it's just a very slow game now.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, it's definitely nice for some of the heroes. So, like, PA wants to play a slow game. And you can see, like, I agree with the PA's build this game, too. Just the no boots in the Battle Fury. Just kind of how the hero functions. Like, you're just so desperate to get to the late game that you just forego things like boots to help you get there. Because you're not going to pressure your lane anyway. You might as well. Just get in there and do some damage. And this Weaver, he's going to try to get out, but you can't escape the Thunder God's Wrath. That is just too strong. And we're starting to see like some of the issues with the Weaver. I think it was counter-picked very nicely here. I guess it wasn't even counter-picked. They picked it into the Night Stalker. But this is the issue of playing it into Night Stalker. Getting stuck into that silence really hurts you. And that last big Zeus was just going to clean you up right before you can get that time lapse off. Even though he doesn't have it quite yet. Only level 5. Wow, he's actually level 5. I'm really surprised by that. Like, after how good he was doing in that early game, it's 11.5 minutes in the game here, and he just hit level 5.
I wonder if he's kind of kicking himself for some of the rotations he was making, because he left top lane very early. Matthew, speaking of the Weaver, almost getting blown up there. Luckily enough, Dark Michael wasn't close enough to get that damage required to bring him down in the end. But yeah, I wonder if Genic is kind of kicking himself, because I don't know if that's a lane you could have continued to play after the double kill, but they didn't really look to continue trying to put the pressure on against the troll. They kind of just, they sacrificed and they were just like, okay, I'm in Slardar versus troll. What can we do? It's a winning matchup for troll. We're not even going to try.
Yeah, but that's not even true. We just saw this matchup in the last series, right? And the Slardar, like, out-farmed the troll. So I'm with you on this one. I think Genic's rotation, great. You killed the Zeus, but maybe you just had to come back top and help the Slardar after that one, because not only did it hurt your game, but it's also hurting the Slardar's game. And more importantly, you had like a fresh urn. Potentially, you could have been pressuring this troll, who at this point, you're not pressuring. Pakaz is on route for just the same type of game that he had in game number 2 there with this troll. Absolute free farm from the laning stage, some 12-minute Battle Fury plus upgraded boots. Man's a monster. And like, yeah, maybe you killed the Zeus once mid, but it doesn't look like he was affected too much by this rotation. He's second in net worth still.
They're going to try and smoke Arcano with the blink just completed. Connect with PP. Zeus would be a big pickup, but Margot's actually already starting to move back. The scan is 5 seconds a little bit too late, unfortunately for them. So by the looks of it, probably going to get no one, and maybe they're going to be forced to swing back up the top and go for Tiger, and they kind of have to kill him now, because if you keep letting this Venomancer get some levels and items, soon it's going to be difficult. 3 points in Plague Ward. If you can get the ultimate off him with the Thunder God's Wrath, you might lose 1 or 2 heroes on a dive deep under the tower for him. So
yeah, I mean,
it's like he will go down.
Does he want to throw his ultimate? That's the question, and he'll hold it. I think for good reason. I think he just throws it out there. It is like a longer cooldown nowadays, 100 seconds. So I don't want to just be wasting that one.
Sacred with the phylactery completed. Matthew's sharpshooter as well. But importantly, the power rune's up in a couple seconds too that they want to try and take a fight over. Radiant have the numbers advantage. Illusion rune's going to spawn down bottom, so it looks like no brawl will occur. We'll see if they're still going to try and force the issue on Boom with it being nighttime, so for, I believe, a minute.
I mean, Lemire is having quite a good PA game so far. He is up to Battle Fury treads. He's actually keeping up with the troll, which is really good. And this is kind of like one of the worries I have with PA, generally speaking, is that sometimes it just takes you too long to come online, and they're going to smoke from right now. But it looks like he will dodge a bullet here, as he already cleared all these camps, but they're going to wrap around. Found Genic. Time lapse.
The team won't. Weave is gone. Crystal Maiden as well. Both supports incredibly squishy. So the rotation from Boom ideally would have liked the kill into the Phantom Assassin farming the triangle, but PA's not there. So they get the next best thing, defending that top tower with 2 kills. And they're actually going to go through the portal. Lumiere is showing with this really deep observer ward inside the jungle. Let's see if he's going to farm to the right or the left. And it looks like Lumiere will dodge another gank.
Yeah. And just to clarify on the worst skill in the game being Blur, that really mainly only applied to the other facet choice. Because at least when you have this facet, on the Veiled one, you can attack while blurred, which helps you farm. But
Jump in mid lane, Margot. It's a big
he's
pickoff. They're going to be able to
out.
get the Zeus, but I missed the chains potentially, and then Dark Margot's able to leap away. Now with the reaction, boom. Not going to be able to find any kills in return. I think it was Illusion that actually urged him out, I believe.
Lemire he's going to get caught here. What are you doing there, buddy?
Oh, whoa, Lemire. I mean, you were saying we're keeping up with Bakaz, but Bakaz now gets a big injection of gold, and he's now all of a sudden almost 2,000 ahead of the Phantom Assassin.
That was a really big kill. Like, I'm not sure what his plan was there. I thought he was expecting the team to dive and he would come clean up from behind, and then he just found himself a little too deep behind enemy territory, and that's not what you want to do. Your Battle Fury farming carry just goes and feeds the enemy Battle Fury farming carry. A little bit of a tongue twister there. And Venomancer is going to use the Noxious Gale for that one. Maybe Dark Mago can clean up.
Oh,
That's
maybe
the fastest.
Mago's dead. He might kill them both.
No ultimate, but
He's
he's
gonna be-
gonna get one.
Hang on, they're taking
Or
him
is he?
in the air.
Is he?
He's going to be able to...
And his
Never
turn.
mind, he's fine.
So there is a play here. He spams his ultimate in 5 seconds.
Bottom lane, Sacred.
He's gonna do it actually. He might get a
Wait,
double.
Who's getting gone on? There's the
no.
ultimate out. Now Dark Margot's going to TP bottom. Arcano tried to go for the attempt onto Sacred. Sacred, is he going to be able to live with the bugs? Ends up getting the kill, but still, I mean, Dark Margot rotating down, double fought the Zeus, and yeah, pretty happy with that. You'll take that trade any day of the week. Margot is thankful that the Night Stalker put himself in a position to be able to feast on the members of Infinity.
Yeah, getting that double kill definitely helps. And I just can't help feel so bad for Genic here. He's level 6, man. That's 17 minutes in the
man.
game. I saw him get a double kill, bring out an urn, grab a Lotus at 3 minutes in the game. I'm like, damn, this guy is going to snowball hard and become a problem. But he didn't. He did not become a problem. Instead, he fed. And that's got to be a problem, because like this is not an easy Weaver game if you are behind. You need that force staff, you need like some mules, you need protection. And Matthew, this could be a good kill. He's gonna be gone.
It looks like with how low the tower is, they're going to be able to get it at least. Right?
Yeah, it's a good rotation for sure. Especially if they can convert this into a tower. But a level 14 Zeus is waiting nearby here. Gotta be a bit cautious here. I mean, I looked at Dark Mago's level, I was like, damn, he's pretty high level, but then the cause is the other beast who's level 16 right now. And Lemire is the only one really keeping up in this game.
And how, like, I know you're saying this is Forbidden Hero, you're not a big fan of it. I guess you speak about that while Boomer going for Roche early on. If this is like, if Lumi is able to keep up in farm, how are the matchups? Can he actually get them over the line with a lot of minus armor that he's going to be working with, or is it still going to be pretty difficult if the PA's are super high network?
Yeah, I mean, it's just PA gameplay. It really just comes down to, it's kind of hard to play PA if your team isn't making anything happen, right? Because you're not a hero that ever wants to go in first. And when you play versus Troll, you just can't go in first. Because if you commit on a Troll and he has MKB and just presses R, you're just dead, right? So you got to keep spamming the daggers. Your team has to do the damage. And the only problem I have right now is, like, who is going to get them low so Lemire can finish the job? Slardar, he's just full committal. He doesn't do any damage right now. Ember? This doesn't feel like a game where Ember's just going to start getting heroes super low. So, yeah, I definitely still favor Boom's draft a lot as this game is currently progressing. But I am impressed with Lemire and how well he's been doing so far. I think the biggest issue of this game right now for Infinity is the fact that this Weaver and Slardar, all you can think about is what they could have had, but
Yeah.
just they weren't able to get it. Genic
Speaking of the Weaver, Genny
just
going to be killed off. This time lapse straight back into where Sacred currently was positioning. Looks like PP was even attempting to go for the kill into Tiger or secure a haste rune.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And more towers are going to continue to fall because taking the T1 top lane already has the MKB queued up as well for the Troll to start to address the Phantom Assassin.
and that'll be the item.
Speaking of the Slaughter struggling, Sacred and Matthew
Yeah.
to catch him out down bottom, and his game is continuing. Go down the drain, trying to work towards the Eternal Shroud, but it's going to take some time now with these deaths.
I mean, even if he gets there, sure, it'll help, but you're not in like one of those situations where that Eternal Shroud is even going to make you feel unkillable. There's just too many items accumulating on the side of Boom. And this troll feels like he can walk just about anywhere. Matthew and Sacred, they want a free Genic.
Venturing in, but
They got one.
they'll get a free Genic. I thought maybe there was a fight to be had, but I guess they don't see anyone else on Boom, so maybe concerned that there's extra heroes going on this aggressive venture.
They didn't even want him, and Matthew's stuck, by the way. He sharpshooted into a part of the map he can't get out, so he's gonna have to TP out. But they didn't even want Genic. They wanted the peel, but like, this Weaver, man, he just can't catch a break this game. Things just go from bad to worse for a boy Genic over here. Tier 2.
He's almost
Down.
Radiant are
Still got 2 minutes left on the Ages. They have plenty of time. This lead is ever so slowly climbing.
Mid
At a
lane,
rate
they might
where-
try and make something happen here.
Oh, you know, they're playing
they
behind
found
Genic.
Genic.
Okay, they've let bait the Weaver. You know, they're always going to look to jump him, so just put him in the middle and wait for a fight to break out on him.
I mean, honestly, brilliant. It would have been a lot better if PA didn't have to use BKB there, but better safe than sorry. Didn't expect him to be there, but yeah. I mean, Genic has a Gloves of Haste queued up. I wonder if that's a... I'm gonna buy
Had the
Midas.
Maelstrom queued up just before.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if we're thinking about a recovery Midas or not, but yeah, probably. Probably just going for that Gleipnir. But realizing for now, he needs to go ahead and just get a Force Staff to be able to survive the Night Stalker Silence. But I wouldn't be opposed to a recovery Midas either.
Oh, you all right. Well, that's a long road for Genic.
Yeah. He won't be going it though,
Rough
unfortunately.
It's like they're gonna start to position their forces down bottom here for Boom. A minute still left on the Ages. Tiger will get all the wards set up, and we'll see if there's a response from Infinity, if they even want to consider about taking a fight. I believe this is Desolator completed for Lumiere, but this is something that they're not even going to look to defend. MKB now.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to be careful at this point in the game for Pakaz if you're PA. And this is where I just think this PA pick was a little bit insane. It's even doing better than I expected, but I still don't see the avenue where you're gonna out-carry Troll. Like, you had several options and where you could pick a hero like Wind Ranger or Razor that has a very straightforward path to beating Troll, where PA's path to beating Troll is hella complicated. But either way, this is what they got, and they gotta find a way to make it work.
Yeah, no more lives now. No. Infinity. You are down 8,000. Elimination. The daughter exiting the qualifiers is getting closer and closer. Boom. His net worth lead is growing 8,000. Importantly, because is continuing to rocket up farm. MKB was just completed, already 2,200 gold in the bank towards Satanic. These guys going completely uncontested. I mean, he's a monster this game. So many last hits.
Yeah, he's definitely getting up there, and I think the moment he gets to Satanic, not sure how you kill him.
Top lane, Lumiere. Short inside the lane. What is the damage with the two supports?
He just died at
They're not
two
even
subs.
cores. He's gone. And there wasn't even the Thunder Gods. And he popped BKB importantly as well. Wow, that's got to be a concern. If they can do that to a Phantom Assassin, what else can the cores do when they're taking a fight?
Well, he chose to pick the Forbidden Hero, and he's paying the iron price right now for doing so. If he can't beat the two subs, how's he gonna beat the raid boss? Because
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Kill gives some gold for the gem on Tiger, and looks like with this, and it's gonna help them be able to control the map. Importantly, get next Roche and start to continue to walk down some objectives.
I gotta check, like, see if Lumiere has played this in his pubs or not, or if this just came out of.
Just random last pick.
I mean, he just
You're gonna
doesn't have any pubs on record. Alright.
Huh?
I don't know. That might be why. He just doesn't know. Not playing the game. That'll happen.
Let's see, smoke up, Infinity. You're smoking with okay, my BKB is up in 10 seconds. It was still on cooldown for a little bit longer. They have not been able to find a big kill in quite some time. Maybe Dark Margot though.
Dire are
PP
scanning.
showing inside the lane. Nice scan. Again, boom. These are back-to-back games. Their reads across the map have been really, really solid. No one, by the looks of it, is going to get caught from the smoke. I say no one. Looks like Matthew Smoke's going to pop.
Oh, they're
Top the
gonna.
hoodwink. It's a little bit messy of initiation though. No one else is there to help with the damage output over to the south.
Oh, welcome to PA
Early
versus
BKB
Roll.
from Lumiere, and once Bakaz is able to lock onto him, just gets the Phantom Strike away at the last second, but it's not going to matter in the end. Lumiere's BKB is over, and as a result, he is gone. PP, where are you going? Over to the left, looking for the last little bit of damage they need onto Saker, but that is not going to happen, and now you are stuck in enemy's territory, and you are not making it out.
Like, isn't that fundamentally a problem where your last pick hero, when you see Troll, instead of being able to just go on him, you have to immediately just run? I mean, I do understand Troll's a hero that you typically need to kite out, but they have no ways of doing anything to Bakaz's team. Not a single one of their heroes does anything. And I think Bakaz knows that, and it's time for him to just start hitting buildings.
He's like, yeah, frostbite me, bro. Cool. What are you doing?
Do it again. He popped Satanic too.
Frostbite. Another And he voice lines. He's like, yeah, come on, dude. All right. Cool.
Cool story, bro, indeed. And I think you just go Roche, right? Like, Roche is up. Might as well just get another Aegis. And then from there, you can debate on what you want to do. There's, like, no rush in this game. Like, you're playing for Zeus Night Stalker. You own this whole map. Troll can farm as much as you want, but at the same time, I feel like this is definitely one of those games. If you look at the high ground defense potential, compare that to game one. You're playing versus like a Tiny, you're playing versus a Pudge, all those like heroes that are really annoying to go high ground against. You got none of that on an Infinity. None of these heroes, except for maybe Ember, are annoying to go high ground against. So you have a much easier path this type of game if they do want to try and close this one out slightly earlier. But Roche will be on the menu. I don't know what you can do with your Infinity to even think about contesting this one, so it's probably dead in the water here.
Means Ages along with the banner is going to go Boom's way. Easy to go high ground. They're even actually smoked, maybe trying to see if they're really going to get Gennik inside the lane, or anticipating that Infinity were trying to force a Hail Mary fight. There will be no fight had, so yeah, everything goes the way of Boom. They're going to go through the portal. Lumiere is still farming in the area. Yeah, he's going to jump in the lane. They ping it. Lumiere.
Oh,
Nimbus as well. Thunder Gods. He can BKB TP. See if he even needs
He's
to
out.
use the BKB.
he does need to use his TP though, quickly. He's not using it. But I think they just, it's like the double mind games. Like they for sure thought I
Yeah.
TP'd out, right? And they're like, haha, I will stay. They'll just let her go. And then I think they just have their sights set on just the barracks, I guess. Maybe mid lane. Not entirely sure. I mean, I think
What
both
is-
of them are good options. So whatever they
Hey.
want to choose to do. Take it on Zeus. Get that spell in.
There we go.
think the play should be gather the troops, go top lane. There is no tower, and you just sit behind Bahas. Spam spells. If the CM wants to use abilities on you, they should die pretty easily. But a lot of respect's being had here. Lots and lots of respect.
Lumia is still sticking around top. Is being pretty frustrating, cutting away, but they're going to have mid pushed in shortly. Saw some creeps actually did slip through top, and anyway, no backdoor is kicked in. A full set of barracks without a defense. No, they haven't come back. Gannick is, he didn't go for that catch-up Midas, but he's still trying to farm towards the items, and Arcano's inching closer to the BKB, but still one full component away. Importantly,
base, so you're losing your base.
Yeah.
At some point, you will have to come back for this. It might not have to be now or in the next 10 seconds, but maybe within the next 20 seconds. You don't show up.
I took a tip it away. I think they got.
Oh, they found PA.
Gardic in the river.
They did find PA now.
Actually, another fight is breaking on. They're onto the Venom. So the Slardar. So because a couple of heroes gone. I mean, what's going on the right side actually? Lumiere. I mean, there's multiple fights. Lumiere is trying to do it all by himself. I mean, Gannick's here. Maybe can Phantom Strike to the Weaver to get down to the low ground. Needs a target because now he's kind of stuck. And because is going to try and close the distance and should be able to do so. Lumiere stuck on the low ground, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Gannick scurries away. Some messy stuff going on in the map. You know, two fights, east and west side, but it looks like in the end, you know, Boom lose a couple, but it's not going to matter. Age is still in the hands of Bakaz. He can walk it down bottom.
Yeah, I mean, PA, that's honestly best case scenario for Infinity, I think, because you don't want to put this PA anywhere near this troll. So they ended up using the PA to end up killing the Zeus, which is good. But you got to defend your barracks here.
Defending
This
heroes
is a
as
little
well.
deep for Cause. I'm not sure about this one. But maybe it's fine. All his dispels are on cooldown. His ultimate is coming up just now. And at the end of the day, you just did not have an answer for this Because troll. He is just the king of the game. Your only choice now is if they run into your fountain and die. You need the assistance from a higher power. And Because is just throning. He's ignoring this, and he's trying to throw them.
I mean, everyone's dying, dude. People's just killing everyone else. And Because is like, guys, dude, just let me have buildings, man. I can end this game. I can do it by myself, I suppose. Tiger almost blows up Gannick there with the Thunder God's Wrath. Gannick is still going in, but I don't know. Gannick, hang on, once the troll's onto you.
Ambitious, to say the least there. But they will have Aegis expiring in about 40 seconds here. I don't know, it feels like Because and Boom are playing two different games. Like, Because, he's just trying to do the objectives. His team, they want to have fun, you know? Come on, bro. Like, let's hit some heroes. Stop hitting buildings.
How's got somewhere to be? It's like, let's just you know, win this, go next round, reset for tomorrow, and chill for the rest of the night. He wants to set his eyes, set his target on the following round. You know, with this team, let's get Infinity out. See who the next opponent's gonna be.
Gonna have to ult this. Thinking about it. Oh, he used a little bit of the regeneration. Okay, from the Aegis to do that. That was cute. Kind of zoned out, to be honest with you, that he still had the Aegis. 6th game of the day, bombs, you know.
Yeah, 23,000 net worth lead. It's. Thank God, well, Because kind of zoned out too, like you're saying before. It's like I can autopilot with the Aegis. Actually going Disperser had the Scepter queued up, which I imagine would just Eden.
It's really good this game.
Okay.
Wait, did he go for the Scepter or he's going Disperser? I mean, I think the Scepter might be better, but Disperser also does the job. He just wants to build more Dispels, right? Because he needs to get these chains off him. He needs to get these Gleipners, Frostbites. That's like his only issue this game. And he already has 2 ways of doing it, so whatever gives him a 3rd way.
Oh, PP. Silence out the force of BKB. And this means PP now for 90 seconds is very vulnerable to any fight.
I wonder if you're confident enough to. Do we have the Roshan's banner? Has this been placed?
It's been placed, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it. It's gone then. And kill the huts. I guess they're not really huts anymore. They're just called buildings. That's a Dota 1 terminology. Holy.
Here we go.
Really far back in time. This is your last fight.
They do Infinity. Anything left. I mean, Throne exposed. It needs to be good. Because just goes for the objectives. Ooh, pretty quickly. Thunder God's going to give them information. Eyes on Lumi. The Phantom Sack looking for the backstab. And with the Nullify freshly completed, trying to blow up Dark Market, but it's just not enough. And now the Troll is on you, and you are not getting out. He's got no buyback. It was a Hail Mary play for the commitment of that last item, but Infinity, they will be out 14, knocked out of the South American closed qualifiers in the road to TI. Boom. Star-studded roster in South America. They will continue on. They're going to see another day, make it into the second round of the lower bracket.
Yeah, I mean, probably had a lot of their fans scared after game number 1, after that shaky open wall qualifier run too, but they pulled it together on the back of a cause troll 2 games in a row. Really delivered super well on this one. So glad to see Because still at it, still having some good performances. Even the game where he was Pudge, he's played really well there. It was just a bit of an outdraft. And I would say in this game number 3, it was also a bit of an outdraft here, of equal proportions perhaps. And I think it's kind of impressive that how well Boom did in game 1, even though the outdraft